Right, everyone, let's go. Let's go for the race. This is it. This is it. It's Sunday. Hopefully we are live, everyone. Hopefully we are live. Look at this, 14 people watching, 23 likes already. People cannot wait for the GP here. I'm just going to get some news up whilst we wait. In fact, let me get a countdown as well. Let me get a countdown going. Bear with me. Probably should have done this earlier, but I'll do it now. We'll do a countdown from 56 minutes. Bear with me. 56 minutes.
Yep, understood.
Let me copy this. Bonk it in there. It's in white. It's in black. I know it's in black. Bear with me. Bear with me. Ah, there we go. That's what it is.
Good job.
McLaren gain a position.
There we go. We got it. We got it. Boom. 56-minute countdown. There we are. Now I kind of prefer the black. Oh dear. Welcome everyone in chat. Welcome Dan. Welcome Kate. Welcome Evo. Welcome Stan. Welcome Marcella. How we doing? Is it hot? Should I get button? Close button? I don't know. Rod says, welcome from a hot and humid Thailand, time 7:02 p.m. Well, there me's complaining about the heat. The temperature here. Whereas the temperature in Thailand is kicking off. Can anyone in chat know who Thailand's fastest racing driver is? Anyone know that one? Start off with an easy one today, why don't we? Dan is excited to be here. I love to hear it, Dan. Love to hear it. Just getting all my stuff up. That's why we start early. Look how much we learned from FP1, FP2, FP3. And I think we did a pretty good job in qualifying on the stream, I have to say. But now we got to convert it in the race. Qualifying is qualifying. Don't win points there. Welcome, Keith Bennett. Good to see you. Let us know if you're just joining, by the way. Let us know where in the world you're watching from. For the Spanish GP today. Could be a seminal moment, I think, in the season. If Max Verstappen dominates this, then we may as well hand him the title now. And basically, for the rest of the grid's hope, I think rests with Carlos Sainz. So you're either Max Verstappen or Carlos Sainz, kind of. Alex Albon, yes. Well, sorry if there's other very fast Thai drivers out there, but I'm not aware of them. Lando Norris as well, starting in P3. So very good qualifying for Lando. Very good qualifying. Dan's in Bucharest, Romania. Keith's from Perth, Australia. We got everyone's up for the GP. Kate's in the UK. We are streaming from the UK today. Streaming from the UK. Marcella, we know, is from South Africa, making some insane liveries. Yeah, P3 is great. Any McLaren fans? Any McLaren fans? The papaya. What's another word that begins with P? The papaya pillagers. Is that what they call the McLaren army? The papaya pillagers. Is it gonna rain today? They are focusing on the sky feed on the clouds, and I have to say, the clouds look angry. The clouds look angry. We saw rain yesterday. Absolutely packed grandstands, by the way. Oh, I'm looking at radar here. There is rain converging on the track. Was that 1 o'clock local time? was at 1 o'clock here. There is rain converging on the track, everyone. So I think from what I just saw on the radar, I don't know if anyone else saw it, it looks like there's going to be rain, which could change absolutely everything. Wow. Okay, remember what I was saying yesterday in FP3, I was surprised more drivers weren't out there after the red flag, testing the sort of conditions, the mixed conditions. And who was the driver that went out? Only one driver went out to start with, and it was Lando Norris. So Lando Norris and McLaren have some information on what it might be like in these mixed conditions. So it looks bone dry right now, but from what I saw on the radar, I really think we can expect rain today. They keep panning over on the sky shot. It's from the same direction as we saw yesterday, so that must be the prevailing wind. The prevailing wind is from the north. Prevailing wind is from the north, sort of northeast. Hold on to your umbrella, everyone. Rain is coming to the Spanish GP circuit. And yes, it was Michael Schumacher in 1996, right? That one? Schumacher in 96, is that right? Is that correct? Verstappen getting his first ever pole. I'm going to up this disclaimer, by the way. I don't want to have any issues today. If we get taken down today, I'm not even running adverts at the moment. I was like, just screw the adverts. In fact, let me know if anyone got an advert on the way in. That'd be interesting to know. Mika Hakkinen when he raced for McLaren. If I missed something, I'm in top chat. I need to get over to live chat. Meanwhile, on the vote, we've got 42 people on the vote, and Max Verstappen's dominating the vote. David says, it's a rare, beautiful morning here in the centre of the North American continent. 20 degrees centigrade and 50% humidity. Sounds very nice. Coming from the middle of the old continent there. Should we get our little board up? Let's get a little board up. Dan's got premium. I've got premium as well, so I never see the ads. When I run ads, I never see them. Senator, we run ads. What are my predictions for the race? Don't know. The rain could... anything could happen when the rain comes down. I think would be a silly person to bet against Max Verstappen. It's Dan coming with the confirmation. Very nice. It'd be a silly person... a brave person, I should say, to bet against Max Verstappen here. So I'm going to say Mercedes looked deceptively strong. We know that Russell's lap was ruined, basically, wasn't he? So we didn't get to see Russell's fast lap. Hamilton, so in Q2, because Russell didn't get out of Q2, and then Hamilton had to have that front wing change. So I keep an eye on the Mercedes here. Keep an eye on the Mercedes. I think we're gonna have 3 different teams in the top 3, so I'll say that at the very least. It's very windy out on the circuit. Mercedes F1 Pro. Fafnir saying today is Lando's day, so we have a McLaren fan in the house in the form of Fafnir. Fafnir saying it is going to be Lando's day. Can he get that maiden GP win? Obviously, he was so close in Sochi. Stan saying Science is a sleeper one here. Yeah, Science looking quietly confident. Keith watches way too much YouTube, so premium is worth spending gold. I think if you're a content creator on YouTube, premium is definitely well worth it, because you can just sort of flick around and see what's going on. Evo says, isn't this De Vries' final race to perform well before something happens to him? That I don't think I've seen that in writing per se, but I think it is correct to say that De Vries is generally under pressure. Ricardo saying Hamilton the GOAT. Not Daniel Ricciardo? Not old Danny Rick? By the way, all the cars are already... You see, 48 minutes to go. Already the cars are making their way out on the circuit. They might do a couple of sort of installation laps. But then they will form on the grid and we'll go into the grid procedure, the grid walk, all of that good stuff. They're queuing at the end of the pit lane here doing practice starts. Kay says Max is winning pole. Yes. Welcome Vlad as well. Sorry I missed you earlier. So yeah, it could be a good race for Lando, and also keep an eye on Oscar Piastri as well. Oscar Piastri, remember in Q2, he set a lightning lap in Q2, didn't he? Early on. David Singh, I've been driving the track in GT7 this weekend. What are the qualifying times been like this year? 1 minute 12.2, I believe, if my memory serves me correctly, was the pole position time for Max Verstappen yesterday. Half a second quicker than the next fastest driver in second place, which is Carlos Sainz. Keith saying rain for the start of the race. The rain would have to move quickly, but from what I'm seeing, I think it is more likely there is going to be rain during this race than there isn't. That is what I'm seeing from the feed. So now I was meant to do one thing, wasn't I? I was meant to put a track map up, and I haven't done it. That's very bad of me. Hang on. Let me try and do this quickly. A track map was requested, and I have not obliged. Bear with me. I need to get one without the chicane, don't I? Dear. Ideally, I'm going to get a transparent one. Rockin' Savage, let me just try and get a... Do we want to track back up? I think it might help. Let me just see. Right, that one's got the chicane. That one's got the old chicane. Ah, here's a little bumper sticker. Here's a little bumper sticker. This... Oh, it's a Web P. I'm going to have to convert it. I'm going to have to convert the Web P. Hang on. Why are Web Ps absolutely everywhere, by the way? What even is a Web P? Anyone know what a Web P file is? There we go. Convert that. Convert that shiz. Okay. There we go. We got it as an old PNG. Let me get this up here for you. Track. Cat. This is going to be a test of my streaming skills. Ah, we still got it. We still got it. We still got it. There you go. I would prefer if it was white. I might be able to do it, actually. I might be able to run a filter. Hang on. Filter. Color correction. Hue shift. Nah, ain't working. Oh, yeah, look at me. Look at me go. Sometimes my streaming skills honestly scare me, frankly. I've still got it. I've still got it. How about cars on the map? Hey, we'll one thing at a time. WebP is the best optimized file type for web right now. Okay, so in the web space, everyone's chatting about WebP. I'm looking at strategy, by the way. Strategy. It looks like, actually, even though I slated it, the strategy is going to be to start on the soft tyre. So start on the soft tyre, and then it looks like it is going to be a 2-stop. And 3 options available. So it looks like everyone's going to start on the soft tyre, because otherwise you'll be swamped. Which you'll lose position, don't want to. Then it's going to be hard, and it's either going to be soft, hard, soft, hard, medium, or potentially soft, hard, soft. Blacker likes it. Kate says graphic design is my passion. Very nice. Now, bearing in mind that we think it's going to rain, okay. If you start on a soft tire, yes, you won't lose position. You won't be on the soft is the option, isn't it? The fast is the option tire, but you won't be on like the slowest tire at the beginning. But if you pit on lap 10 off the soft tire to get on the hards, right? And then 2 laps after you're on the hards, it starts to rain, you're gonna have to pit again. Whereas if someone started on the hards or the mediums, they would only do 1 pit stop. Okay. So I wonder if someone is going to be brave enough. Yeah, no rain since 96. I wonder if someone is going to be brave enough to start on a harder compound and just go until it rains. Because I'm looking at the shots. Oh, these are shots from yesterday. Sorry. Just the one I'm looking at right now is from yesterday. But the ones we're seeing today are very similar to the ones from yesterday where it rained. Welcome along. We've got hashtag 44 people in the chat, which is awesome to see. And the grid is forming. Everyone's on the grid. It's a hive of activity. A hive of activity. It is great when you sit opposite the grid there, Kathleen. You feel very, very close actually to the action. It's great what they've done. But yeah, rain. The radar I saw had heavier rain than yesterday arriving on the circuit. Marcella had a thought yesterday. What's the thought yesterday, Marcella? By the way, can we... Oh my word, there's big rain. I believe that's big rain. If this is live images of Hamilton going to the grid, which it is, there's big rain on the way. There's big rain. I tell you, whenever we stream, there's drama. Should Leclerc leave Ferrari? You'd be mad if you're Charles Leclerc to voluntarily leave Ferrari. Where are you going to go? Unless you, that's the kind of Daniel Ricciardo-esque move. By the way, chat, can we agree on the corner names here? Can we agree on the corner names? So if you follow me on the map, you can't see my mouse, can you? See my mouse? No, you can't see my mouse. But if you can follow me on the map, right? So turn 1, we've got the right-hander. Turn 2, left-hander. Turn 3, the long right-hander. Turn 4, that one there. Turn 5 is a sharp one where you dip. And then you've got a turn 6, which is after that dip. It's just a little kink. Turn 6. Then you got turn 7, where you go left. And then into turn 8, where you go right, up the hill. Turn 9 is the really fast corner. And then this map isn't quite right, is it? So just ignore that kink. Turn 10 is what used to be the hairpin. Turn 10. Turn 11 is a long one there. Turn 12 is the penultimate corner. And turn 13 is the last corner. Does anyone disagree with that? Rain in Spain, yes. It never rains in Spain. Expect when it rains. Yeah, Savage is right. You can't go... I think it's a pretty dead-end thing for Charles to do. But he's got a long contract, hasn't he? Does anyone disagree with those lap corners, by the way? Anyone disagree? We agree. Okay, let's do a little test then. Should we do a little test? Just so we're prepped. This is our pre-race prep, okay? Which corner is turn 10? Which corner is turn 10? Little quiz. Welcome, Cat. Good to see you. So advert for Heinz baked beans at the moment. Anyone in chat know which corner is turn 10? There's a picture on the stream. There's a picture on the stream, Evo. That's why I spent ages getting the map up. Oh no. Chat. It's not as easy as it seems, is it? Savage has got it. The hairpin-ish looking one. Yes. Okay. Let's do another one. Let's do another one. Okay. What number corner is The last corner. What number corner is the last corner? There we go. There we go. And you can't rewind the stream. You're not allowed to rewind the stream. Mistake saying 13. Anyone going to verify that? Don't you see which one? I can't see which one you're pointing at. Vlax says 13. Dan said 14. Evo's 13. Okay. So we're pretty much... We're 75% right, I think. If we are right, we might not be right. Does anyone think the track looks like a gorilla flexing its muscles? That's like when you go to a psychiatrist. If that's what you see here, that probably says something about you. Hopefully in a good way. It's an advert for cider now. I've always thought about advertising alcohol at motorsport events. Kind of a bit weird, isn't it? Like just that association. Right, Evo sees it, Kate sees it, okay. Any other things what it could be? The map of Catalonia? Dan wasn't this. Yeah, Dan, were you on the track walk? We just literally walked the whole track. Dan. You went around and counted, didn't you? See, what's Dan done? Dan, you've counted every corner. I know what you've done. Because there's a trick, because that map has a little bonus chicane. I can imagine the designer would have skipped numbering 13. Maybe. Maybe it's one of those ones where you don't have a number 13 corner, it just goes to 14. Stan said it's like a crab. Like a crab. I've never seen an actual big... I don't know, I've seen... Yeah, on beach, I've seen little crabs. I've never seen like a big one. I have eaten crab though. It's a bit... Went a bit deep, didn't it? Mason Mount still here, trying to forget his last season. Who else is this? Patrick Kluivert. Now that's the man who has the keys to Barcelona. Kylian Mbappe. Maybe he's angling for a move here. Patrick Kluivert. Anyone remember the name Patrick Kluivert? Newcastle legend. Are there any tracks that skip number 13? I know there's buildings that skip floor 13. Hotels will skip floor number 13. Dan remembers. Anyone else remember Patrick Kluivert? Is it just Dan? Stan's from Florida, so he sees things differently. Right, the drivers are getting ready. You can see the countdown, 35 minutes to go. David says, no idea, but a good question. Nico Hulkenberg. Oh, by the way, Pierre Gasly did get that penalty, and he dropped behind Fernando Alonso. So that big brain, that 4D big brain strategy I said yesterday, that is why Fernando is an absolute genius. Vlax says, yes, I'm old, thank you. Eva doesn't remember. This is a good thing. If you remember the name, if you were there, you would remember the name Patrick Kluivert. You would not be able to... Some people will literally not be able to forget the name Patrick Kluivert, and some people won't even know it. Elix says that if Charles doesn't pick it up, Ferrari will probably let him go. Oh, I think they would prefer to get rid of old Carlos, but I wonder if they think Charles is more marketable than Carlos. 34 minutes to go. By the way, Nico Rosberg is in town for Sky. I tell you, when I do my grid walks, right, when I go on these grids and do my grid walks, I don't wear enough flashy clothing. I need to wear like some like bright yellow t-shirt or something, don't I? Stand out a little bit. I just go in black jeans and a black jumper. It's not quite the look. David remembers the name, but no context matches in my memory. Vlad probably remembers because Croatia did quite well in '98, didn't they? Masaya, most pole positions, Michael Schumacher. Here we go. Masaya coming in with the stats. Safety car probability is 50%. VSC is 25%. And 75 overtakes in 2022 is quite a lot of overtakes. But I wonder how many of them were on-track overtakes, because there was a lot of pit stops. Did people do 3-stoppers last year? Did anyone do a 3-stopper? Yeah, but so I let you into a little world of motorsport, journalism, whatever it is that I do when I go to these events, whatever you call it. You can't wear branded stuff. A, you can't wear branded stuff. Okay. So you have to wear completely unbranded stuff, which is fine. And B, you have to call you have to say the names of the teams exactly as they are. So when it's like the Emilia Romagna Imola Precinct GP brought to you by Peroni, Budweiser, Doritos, Microsoft Dynamics, MoneyGram GP, you have to say all of that every time. Those sponsors, that's why they pay. That's why they think they pay, is for people to say it. So 2 little secrets of the glamorous world of going to these sort of events. Eva says, I think they're both laying each other down this season. Maybe, yeah. I mean, no one's covered himself in glory at Ferrari this season, are they? Remember, Charles Leclerc was on pole last year. Welcome to the Neon Sphere. Stan says Lance has a very few days left now. Papa Stroll ain't going to get rid of Stroll Jr. I don't think. Elix saying, I think Ferrari will probably go for Lando. That is a huge shout. But if you're Lando Norris now, do you really want to move from McLaren? Oh, man. It's funny, Lando and Charles kind of having sort of similar parallel careers a little bit, although Charles has definitely had more success. I mean, Lando hasn't won a race in Formula 1, where Charles has won quite a few. But the story of this season is that no one has been able to touch the Red Bulls at all. No one. Not Ferrari, not McLaren, not nobody. Red Bulls have been in a class of their own, frankly. It's a bit of a shame from a sporting perspective, because if you take Red Bull out of this year, then suddenly it's a very interesting championship, because everyone's all mixed up. But that's Formula 1. If you don't want to see teams dominate, then you can go and watch, you know, BTCC. It's a little bit harsh, maybe, on our touring car friends. I don't know. Welcome, Paul Creamers. Yeah, if you're enjoying this, by the way, and you want to support us, and in case the stream goes down, make sure you hit that subscribe button. I'll do some more CTAs later in the stream, and hopefully we just have a good stream today. A lot of fun, kind of follow the race, you know, see what's going on, maybe some exciting moments, some dramatic moments, maybe the rain's going to come down, maybe Max Verstappen will fall off the track, we'll see. And then we'll wrap it up. And we have a premiere later, by the way. So immediately after this stream is going to be an exclusive interview with the most interesting man in motorsport, Jim Glickenhaus, who runs the Glickenhaus owns and founded the Glickenhaus hypercar team. So he goes up against Ferrari, Toyota, Peugeot, Cadillac, Porsche, etc. in hypercars in the Le Mans WEC. That interview will follow this stream immediately. We'll go straight there, and it's going to be an exclusive broadcast. Eva, I don't think anyone is going to catch up. Oh, look at the welcomes for Paul there. Are we welcoming Paul, or are we welcoming Bill Jones? Or is it a double welcome? Bill Jones from Barking. Eva, I don't think anyone is going to catch up to Red Bull this season. Okay, I want to ask a question in the chat. I want to ask a question. Does anyone think... How do I phrase this? Does anyone think any other team is going to win a race this season? Can any other team win a race this season? That's my question. Let me know. Let's get the old battery pack here. Well, it's lots of adverts. Tell you what, the Logitech G Pro wheel. They don't say this on the marketing, but the Logitech G Pro wheel is fantastic as a stand for my phone, which is absolutely great. I say that, and now I'm struggling. Need to get the balance just right. There we go. That'll do. The only way for someone to win is if both Red Bulls DNF. Well, Perez is trying his damn best, isn't he? Frankly. Perez is trying his best there. Welcome, Paul. Oh, there we go. Paul's in the chat. Good to see you, Paul Creamers. In terms of racing from start to finish, no instance, I'm just saying, just factually, can any other will any other team win a race this season? I just wonder if it was Alonso's chance at Monaco, the opportunity to put it on pole, that could have been it. Stan saying yes, today it could happen, but will it happen? Will it happen? That's the big question. That's what we all want to know. I wonder if Red Bull will just want to, after years of Mercedes dominance, 7 years of Mercedes dominance, and obviously the inflection point 2021, whether Red Bull, and then a little bit of a battle with Ferrari last season for the first half maybe, if Red Bull will now want to stretch their wings, excuse the pun, and just become the new dominant force in Formula 1. Still live race, yes, we're going to be live. You can see below there, it is 26 minutes to go to race start. Eva saying it'll be Hamilton, Alonso, or Russell. Interestingly, you haven't put a Ferrari in there. No Ferrari option. Rod saying Aston Martin could be the one who does it. Potentially. We will see. Nico Hulkenberg is a man that has been on the podium in F1 before, I believe. Wasn't it at Sao Paulo? Or am I getting Interlagos? Sorry, getting that wrong. Those 7 years were difficult to watch. We could be in a new era now. It's a new era of domination in Formula 1. The funny thing is, it's like Formula 1 has to be a sport, right? Just a lot of Bundar at the moment in the Sky stream. They're doing something on the McLaren. Has to be a sport, but really from a commercial perspective, they make more money if there's no one dominating. So there's a clear conflict of interest there. That is a definition of a conflict of interest. Like they should run it as a sport where just whoever wins, but they make a lot more money if they can make it so there's no clear winner. Neil's F1 TV says, I think that Verstappen win, then 2 Sainz Alonso. Is that your predicted grid for today? Let me sweep over here a little bit. Just hang out with you a bit more. This is nice. It's a nice angle we got today, actually. I put the race logic on. Speed. Get the race logic on. We should get the race logic plugged into F1, shouldn't we? Will Aston Martin ever replace Lance Stroll while his dad is a major stakeholder? Well, presumably, it depends. It's kind of a bit of a loaded question. It's almost like how long does Lawrence Stroll have left in the tank? Ben Chilwell's on the grid. I'm not super sure he's a global phenomenal superstar. I mean, he's not even the starting England left back. Mason Mount's here as well, sort of awkwardly standing around. Is Martin Brundle going to interview him? No, not interested. That's an awkward celebrity moment there. Doesn't Papistrol want out? No, I think Papistrol was on the news. Oh, here we go. Here's Mason Mount. Papistrol's on the news saying things are looking good for Aston Martin Lagonda. Ferrari is kind of reconstructing their team, so I don't think they will win. But maybe that will change towards second half of the season. Let's see. They bought upgrades here. And maybe there's more pace in the car. Mason Mount, if rumours are to be believed, is effectively no longer a Chelsea player. And will be going to Manchester United. So... Or maybe Barcelona. Wouldn't that be a story if he's here in Barcelona and going to transfer to Barcelona? But Barcelona don't have any money. They've got no funds. Although Leo Messi is now a free agent, isn't he? I'm just seeing if there's anything interesting going on here on the grid walk. I've got to be a little bit more. I've got to just kind of roam around a little bit faster. I think when I do my grid walk, I've got to just be zipping around. Maybe have a camera person. Yeah, I don't think Papa Stroll wants out, everyone. I don't think Papa Stroll wants out. Yeah, if anyone thinks anyone other than Verstappen is going to win today, let us know. It'll be good to know. Anyone other than Verstappen. Not a lot of interesting people on the grid today, I think. Is he going to try and find Kylian Mbappe? Kylian Mbappe, or maybe Patrick Kluivert. Surely you wouldn't get anywhere near Kylian Mbappe. It's so weird being on a grid. Who's this? Oh, is it Neymar? Is it Neymar again? It's Neymar again. Neymar's at all the races. Weren't PSG playing yesterday? PSG were playing yesterday and Neymar's here again. I think probably courtesy of Puma, isn't it? Neymar's a huge F1 fan, clearly. I thought that was Triple H, but it wasn't. Who do you think will finish second and third? There's a man who's being interviewed who doesn't want to be interviewed. Weather update, please. It's overcast. It's overcast. I need to get another look at the radar. As soon as I see another look at the radar, I will let you know what the radar's saying. Yeah, we're 20 minutes to go, so they're going to be finalising the grid procedure. We are doing the grid walk right now. I think they're just trying to see if they can find Kylian Mbappe. Who's this? Is this Patrick Kluivert? No, it isn't. It's a busy grid. He is by Ferrari now, and I think that's who Mbappe was with. It's absolute chaos on the grid. It's madness, frankly. You end up like revolving around the same celebrities again. It's a little bit awkward. Max has absolutely dominated the poll. Yes. 76%. We will see. By the way, there's a lot of work going on the McLaren, I believe, of Oscar Piastri. So the right rear, there's a lot of work going on with Oscar Piastri on that car. A lot of media activity around it as well. The FIA are around there as well, just inspecting, because obviously the cars are still under part Ferme conditions. So they'll be just checking what the McLaren mechanics are doing. Mason might go to Man U. Okay, confirmed. Is that locked in? Here we go. It's at the moment it's sunny on the grid, but there's lots of cloud around. But I need to have another look at the radar. Or maybe someone in chat can just have a look at a live radar for Catalonia circuit right now and just see. The funny thing is on these grids, right, the further you go back, they just get so quiet. So quiet. As Michael Douglas is not happy about something. He's pointing, jabbing his finger. Martin Douglas is a very unhappy man. I feel like he was involved in a racing movie at one point, but I can't remember what. What do you think of Sargent's performance? I think the less said about Sargent's performance, the better so far. What are my memories from the race last year? It was very hot. It was very hot. It was crazy hot. And a lot of Alonso fans. The Alonso fans are out fast. Well, yes, by the way, Charles is going to be starting from the pit lane. So it says 19 there, but he'll actually be starting from the pits. Some sort of an issue on Charles Leclerc's car, so they've elected to try and fix it and starting from the pit lane, and presumably, I would say, change a few components. Why not? Because if you're going to start from the pit lane, I don't think you get a grid penalty, but I might be wrong on that. See, now it is overcast on the grid. Now it is overcast. Now there's no sunlight on the grid, so I wonder if that was the last bit of sunlight before the clouds are going to move over the top of the circuit. No, absolutely no one's going to start on full wets, because I'd be very surprised. Firstly, you'll never ever see a Formula 1 race start on full wets, I think. especially when you look at the red flag that we got yesterday for nothing. And B, I don't think it's going to rain in the next 20 minutes, but I might be wrong. I might be wrong. Han says, how can one not be an Alonso fan? Everyone's a little bit an Alonso fan. Everyone's at least like 5% an Alonso fan. Like, even if you say that you support Lewis Hamilton, you're still 5% Alonso, surely.
To lose too much time.
It's thinning out on the grid. The Alonso charge. The Alonso charge is going to have to come from P8. He's overtaken, he's starting ahead of Pierre Gasly. Some guy from Alpine and Toto Wolff having a chat on the grid. You never know. Max said to Viaplay in Dutch that he hadn't reached the limit yet and could go even faster. So news coming in from... hasn't reached the English press yet, but hot off the press in the Netherlands, Max can go even faster. Scary. Evo says everyone's an Alonso fan, even if they say they're not, they are. Yes, I agree. Even Lewis Hamilton, yeah, even Lewis Hamilton, well, he was. He said yesterday he wanted Alonso to win this. So, I think everyone kind of wants Alonso to win a little bit. Even if you hate Alonso. "16 minutes to go, and still the grid is quite busy.
Currently yellow flags.
Although it is thinning out a little bit. I believe the work might have... No, that's a different McLaren. I don't know if the work has stopped on Oscar Piastri's car. But remember, with 15 minutes to go, you really don't want to be not having a wheel on your car. Can be a little bit unsettling for the driver as well.
That's a good overtake from Alpine.
Wow, all the Chelsea players are here today. There must be some sort of Chelsea thing going on. Obviously, Sky Sports love it because they've got the Premier League rights. So it's like, yeah, let's chat all that cross stuff. It can go on all the social channels. Smart.
Front tyre is struggling a lot.
Liam wants a Seb Alonso dream team. Maybe. What about an Audi Seb Alonso dream team? Eric says a lot of Max fans like to see Alonso win. Yeah, there's some kind of bromance there, isn't there?
Bit of an update for you. We're currently
Savage, I reckon Lance Stroll will stick around for a while to see how his new Honda engine works out. Yes, yes, yes. Here's John Boss. John, I'm surprised you're not watching the IndyCar.
relatively low grip.
Lando looking pretty confident, starting in P3. This is it, everyone. This is racing.
So I need to look after these tyres.
This is racing. I think that's going to be pretty much it with the grid walk stuff, so we'll get onto the actual race procedure. Welcome back, Akshay. New logo for Akshay, by the way. Dropping the 54. We got the live timings. We got F1 Manager. We've got you, the most important thing. And we will see how we do. It's in this rain around the circuit, but it looks like it's moving away. Is that coming live from the satellite feed? Is that live from the satellite feed? That is going to be very interesting because if it looks like that, then I would suspect drivers will not want to start on anything other than the soft tyre. That is my hunch. That is my hunch.
That's a position gained for Alpha Tauri.
Actually wants at least light rain. Yeah, the rain could be very interesting. Rain could be very interesting if it does come. Would be unusual. Doesn't often rain. At Catalunya, last rain in the race was 1996. But it has rained earlier this weekend. Hand saying 14 minutes to go. Yes, 14 minutes. You got the timer there on the screen. Aviation app showing that there is 0.6 to 0.8 millimeters of max rain, and it's going northwest. Okay, I'm surprised it's going northwest because I thought the prevailing wind was from the northeast. So maybe it's swirling around. I'm not sure that was Flavio because I thought Flavio's been banned from F1 for life. It did look a little bit like Flavio, but surely that's not Flavio on the grid. I think they're doing maybe the Spanish national anthem now. You just have to hum this one in your head. Will we hear it at the end of the race? Well, Carlos Sainz and Fernando Alonso will hope so. Welcome, Damien Purvis. Good to see you. Good to see you. Let us know, by the way, if you've just joined in the chat. Make sure to smash that like button as well. We want to get to 100 likes before the race starts. Send those positive signals to the algorithm. Yeah, there's no rain right now, and they've got a grand piano on the track, so definitely not raining right now. I don't know what the plan would have been if it were raining. Would they have... What would they have done with the piano? Where does the piano go now? They should stick a GoPro on that piano. I want to see where it goes. Welcome, Chris P. Marcia's brewing a quick coffee before the race. Yes. Now it's the anthem of Catalonia, because we are in the Catalonia region of Spain. Obviously very fiercely proud and... Well, some of them would like to be independent. Here's the Circuit de Catalunya, as you can see on the screen. Yes, slap the old like button, everyone. Slap it up. When does it start? I know what you're doing, chat. I know what you're doing. I see through your games. What does Charles Leclerc do here, starting from the pits? Do you do a very different strategy? Do you start maybe on a harder compound and just overtake people whilst they're in the pits? Is that an option? Welcome back, Snowline. Yes, race start in 12 minutes. 12 minutes to the race start. You can see you've got a little lap timer there on the top left. Right, everyone is now returning to their cars, I believe. Less than 12 minutes to go till the race start. Let's get the old LPH up. Yeah, we can try our best. Pump up the LPH. That usually pumps up the stream. There's a direct correlation. Are we going to hit 1,000 people in the stream today, or are we going to get taken down? Are we going to get taken down? Are we going to hit 1,000? What is more likely, actually? In fact, let me know in chat. What is more likely? We hit 1,000 people watching, or we get taken down? I'm interested, because every single race we've done previously, we've been taken down. That's facts. They don't like what we're doing here. Welcome, Matt. Okay, I will ask again, and I will ask one time only. Which part of the track is most dangerous in the rain? Well, we saw, is it turn, after turn 10, there was a little sort of puddle, basically, that a lot of cars span in yesterday. So I said after turn 10 is quite difficult. Get taken down when we hit the 1,000. Okay, that's going to be it. That's going to be the one. That piano playing was ghastly. I couldn't hear it. It looked good. From a visual perspective, it looked... I couldn't knock anything from the visual side. Maybe it wasn't quite all there on the audio. 1,000 watching is realistic. We will see. It requires us to not get taken down, which we have not done before. When they come in, we just have to say, yes, we are watching this F1 Manager race at Catalonia, and we're discussing it, right? Liam says, look at the rain on the horizon. Well, someone's come in chat and said there's no rain, but from what I saw earlier on the radar, it looked pretty certain that rain was going to hit the circuit. So we will see. I'm going to restart this race, by the way, in F1 Manager, so we can sync it up. We can sync it up. Yeah, we have to like, when they come in, say, what's going on here? So this is a broadcast of the... No. Oh, that's interesting. My stream has stopped. My internet stopped, but luckily I have 2 internet connections here because I have one just for streaming. That's how professional I am, by the way. Yeah, we lost connection up there. I'll have to go onto the backup. So yeah, F1 Manager's never seen figures like it, frankly. It's a real boost for the game, even though I think the next game's going to be rubbish. But we shouldn't say that, but it is going to be rubbish. Cases, we're here, yes, and we are almost at the 7 minutes to go mark. Going to be a formation lap. I think. Should I get a time? Chat, do we want to see a timer going up? I can do a timer going up. I can do a timer going up. Hang on. Liam's here for the F1 Manager, yes. I can write race progress. And it can be a count up from 0. Why is it called a broadcast when it's not even chunky? I have no idea what that means, frankly. You kind of lost me there. Okay, we'll get this timer as well for a race up. People are saying that the rain looks very heavy. I'm having people message me saying, have you seen this rain? So I'm surprised that someone in chat said there's not a lot of rain. Huh? Count up. Okay, maybe that ain't gonna work. I don't know what's going on with it. Just seems to fail. Bear with me. Don't know. Doesn't like it. Whatever. Whatever. Risk of rain is 40%. Yeah, I'm telling you, I think from what I've seen, you can say risk of rain percentage and everything, but what I've seen from actual pictures is that there are rain clouds in the vicinity, and I've seen radar. So I'd be very surprised if we don't have any rain. My F1 stream is about 30 seconds behind, so I'm going to pause a bit. Yes, do that. Make sure you get it all synced up. Get it all synchronized. We can do a latency check. Right, let's do it. Let's do a last 5-minute latency check. I'm going to get a stopwatch up. If you know what to do, you know what to do. If you don't, this is what's going to happen. I'm going to say a random number. I'm going to say a random number on the stream now. As soon as you hear it, type that random number in the comments box, in the live chat. And I've got a stopwatch and we'll work out the latency. Very, very, very important. Stopwatch. Okay. I'm going to say a random number. So get ready to type it in. Get ready. As soon as you hear it, type this in. The random number is 53. 53 is the random number. 53. Stopwatch is going. Can we go sub 10 seconds like we did yesterday? Can we go sub 10 seconds? I'm waiting. I'm waiting. Oh, it's a 9.6. It was a 9.77 yesterday. It's a 9.6. We are sub 10 seconds again. That's barely a blink. That's hardly anything. Light speed. Dan got it. Marcella got it. Express, Liam, Chris, Savage, Danny, Ems, Funky, welcome Funky, Vlatka, Patient, Evo, Snow, Marsho, Tall, Thin, Bald Man, and Rod. No mistake. Actually, no, Funky, you wrote TE. So Funky was the only one we didn't quite get it. TE was not the random number. But otherwise, it was a clean sweep. And a 9.6 on the stopwatch. 9.6. Absolutely insane. Right. Let me get this ready, everyone. I'm going to restart this race. Which basically means you have to reload it because F1 Manager things. There we go. So we'll have it in the background for that authentic Formula 1 sound that we all love with these new cars. Track temperature dropping. That's a very good indicator that it might be about to rain. Very good indicator. Oh god, I hate this stuff. There we go. Put them on some strat and we start.
As the sun
Oh, by the way, turn 13 is the penultimate corner, so Dan was right. The last corner is turn 14. I got that very much wrong.
looking at Daniel Ricciardo. They'll be starting one of the oldest races on the Formula One calendar.
Don't worry, don't worry, don't worry, don't worry, don't worry. I'm going to pause it, I'm going to pause it.
Grand Prix. And it's lights out, and away we go.
There we go. That's ready for the race start. I've got you covered, everyone. Have a good race here. Now's your chance as well. If you want to let us know right now who you think is going to win, let us know in the comments before we really get going here. Because anything can happen off the line. Will Carlos Sainz get... It's a decent run down to turn 1, by the way. It's a decent run down to turn 1. Very decent run. So potentially we could see something interesting. Don't know, if you want to watch the race live, you've got to check out where it's broadcast in your country. But if you want to hang out with us here, I'm going to relay it. We're going to discuss it. You don't get to do that on Sky Sports. Better question might be, he will play second. Yes, maybe. Fact. Let's just get the race. It feels a bit empty without it, doesn't it? For me. By the way, Logan Sargent and Charles Leclerc are starting from the pits. There's 2 drivers starting from the pits. I'll tell you what, Charles Leclerc won't want to hang around Logan Sargent for too long there. That might be quite irritating for him. Teasing Bert Mylander will win. Safety car win. Welcome, Wally DJ. Let us know if you've just joined, by the way. Let us know if you've just joined. We are just 1.5 minutes away. Is this timer going to work? Is it worth it? Why does it keep popping off? Hang on, I'm going to give it one more chance. One more chance to do it. Nope, no luck. No luck with this one. It's alright. We leave it. We leave it. We're good with what we've got. Are the leaderboard stats live? Yes, they are, as you will see very, very, very soon indeed. Very soon indeed. Leclerc is starting on the hard tyres. We will see, everyone, what the strategy is going to be. I think most drivers are going to start on the soft tyres. We'll see when they remove the tyre covers, as they're going to do imminently on my stream. They're holding them removed. Max Verstappen is on the red softball tyres. So yes, soft tyres for Max Verstappen. He wants to start in P1, stay in P1, and build a gap, basically build a free pit stop on cars behind him. But Sergio Perez is on the medium tyres. So split strategy there. Hang on a second. Hang on a second. Was I looking at a different Red Bull? Is that Max Verstappen on the mediums at the front? Is that Max Verstappen? No, whoa, that's all wrong. Max Verstappen's on the mediums. Both Red Bulls on the mediums here. Pretty much everyone else is on the soft tyre. Wow. Pretty much everyone else on the soft, and Max Verstappen's is on the mediums, and Charles Leclerc's got the hards. Here we go. We're starting the formation lap right now. Starting the formation lap right now. And that is a very interesting one. Yes, it's mediums. It's mediums. Sorry, I saw some red and I was like, okay, but it wasn't. It's the medium tyres. That's a very interesting one, because surely if you're Max Verstappen here, they're so confident in their pace. They're like, nah, it's cool that Carlos Sainz is going to be on the softs. We're going to go mediums. That is pretty mad. Yeah, this circuit host. I've actually cycled on this circuit. I've cycled I've cycled from England to Barcelona and then cycled on this circuit. And I tell you do appreciate the bumps and the hills when you go there. Hopefully Carlos Sainz Beans gets the jumps on Matt. We will see. It's a long run into turn 1. And by the way, pole is on the outside. Pole is on the outside. So if you get a good start in P2 and you kind of claim that line, then Then it compresses. 1, 2, and 3 sort of compress. They turn inside out. Liam saying they're a second a lap faster. We will see, Liam. We will see. Carlos Sainz. Well, they were half a second a lap faster in quali. But what is the pace difference between the soft and the medium tyre? What is the pace difference? Liam predicts Sainz hits max T1. Oh, imagine if there's contact. We will see. We'll see very, very, very soon. Welcome along, everyone. Welcome to the stream. I hope everyone is doing very well. Max Verstappen is going around the last corner now, so he's about to line up for his grid slot. How long is it going to take for the rest of the cars? He'll be sitting there. The tyres will be getting cold. They've just come out of the warmers, but obviously it's proportionally the same for all the cars behind. So yes, the guy in last place might have the warmest tyres, but he's also starting in last place. So I wouldn't necessarily read too much into that one per se. Welcome along, everyone, if you're new and joining us to the stream. Peter Bonington looking very intently. Lewis Hamilton will be the car sort of behind Carlos Sainz on the inside line. So we'll keep an eye. I'll try and call it. You might get your live standings happening a little bit before me, but I'm going to call it as I see it. Lando's going to jump to the lead. We will see, everyone. We will see what's going to go on. Logan Sargent, so it must be Alex Albon at the back there on the soft tyres, because Logan Sargent is starting from the pit lane, as is Charles Leclerc. Yeah, 2 drivers starting from the pit lane. 2 drivers. So again, the live standings will go, but I'm going to call it as I see it. I'm going to call it as I see it, chat. That's how we're rolling here. We've got the 2 cars in the pit lane. Green flag goes. This is it. 2 lights, 3 lights, 4 lights, 5 lights. All the lights are out. And what's the start like? It's a decent start for Verstappen. It's not the best start. Carlos Sainz had a good one, but Verstappen has to go all the way across to the white line on the inside. Carlos Sainz is now level. He's going to try and go round the outside. It's Carlos Sainz. Oh, they're side by side into turn 1, but Max Verstappen does what he often does and chops across Carlos Sainz. Someone takes the escape road. Little bit naughty there from Max Verstappen. Did not give any space whatsoever to Carlos Sainz on the exit. Lewis Hamilton's under big pressure here from Lance Stroll. And by the way, Lando Norris has been the big loser there. Lando Norris has lost a whole load of positions. Lance Stroll goes up the inside of Lewis Hamilton. Lance Stroll's into P3 on my screen. So Lance Stroll with a great start. Lewis Hamilton's lost, well, he hasn't really benefited from Lando Norris's absolutely insanely bad start, basically. So we've got Verstappen, Sainz, Stroll, Hamilton, Ocon. Alonso has gained quite a few positions. So the Aston Martins are looking very, very, very good here. Very good. Hamilton and Lando made contact. That might have been what it is. I'll have a look and see if I can see it. I wonder if Lando is really struggling here. There's a McLaren very, very, very slow. He's on the radio. Box. Lando's coming in. Lando is boxing. Disaster for Lando Norris, the man who started in P3 here. And he's made contact with Lewis Hamilton. And yes, look at Lance Stroll. He was getting rubbish yesterday in our chat. But he's doing absolutely unbelievable here. Absolutely unbelievable. Up into P3. And Fernando Alonso not too far behind. Disaster for Lando Norris. Meanwhile, Sergio Perez is up to P10. If I remember, he started in P12, didn't he? Did not make it into Q3. And Charles Leclerc is still behind Logan Sargent. So if you're keeping an eye on that, Charles Leclerc is still behind Logan Sargent. Absolutely unreal. Disaster for Lando. It looks like a very slow stop as well. The tyres are on fire. And they've had to change that front wing. I think he lost his front right wing end plate. And by the way, Max Verstappen is already more than a second ahead here of Carlos Sainz. As I think that's George Russell all over the back of Fernando Alonso. And it is overcast here. Is it going to rain? Chat, I know some of you were looking at Lando Norris as a surprise package here, but it hasn't really worked out for Lando, has it? Hasn't really worked out. I haven't seen a replay yet of the start. I will have to have a look for you. Yeah, Max is making the gap. George Russell, yeah, it's all over Alonso. So George Russell's looking racy. Does that mean that the Mercedes cars are going to be looking pretty good? Ironically, Stroll overtook Hamilton, but George Russell is all over the back of Fernando Alonso. Fafnir still believes, but I'm telling you, it's not going to be good here for Lando Norris unless he's going to get very lucky with Strat if it's going to rain, something like that. very difficult. But yes, Max Verstappen, this is scary because remember, he's on the medium tyres and he's pulling away from Carlos Sainz, who's on the Red Bull soft tyre. 1.5 seconds is the gap. Vlatka, sorry for Lando. It must be devastating to be him right now, yeah. But unfortunately, you just got to crack on. There's still 63 laps to go in this race. Just can't let it get to you. The race has only just begun. Fafnir still believes. I'm going to have a look here at the race start. I'm going to concentrate here on what happened with Hamilton and Lando Norris. Hamilton got a good start. Remember, Max Verstappen sort of went all the way to the right-hand side. And I'm trying to see where the contact is. As they go into turn 1, Lewis Hamilton's up the inside. Oh, there must have been contact earlier on. Surely. Because, oh, I think Lando Norris, I'm going to call this one as I see it. I think Lando Norris just ran into the back of Lewis Hamilton. Lando Norris just ran into the back of Hamilton and lost his end plate. That is a misjudgment from Lando. And then he's lost all of that downforce. Carbon fibre goes flying. I think it was George Russell, by the way, who took to the escape path. And I wonder if he gained some positions there that he might need to give back. I'm on board right now with Lando. Let's see if there's a bit of a concertina effect. Goes into turn 2, into turn 3, and yeah, just and the end plate gets stuck in his front wing as well. That might have affected the steering. It's an absolute disaster for Lando Norris. Did not really get that judged nicely at all, and that has effectively ruined his race. Carlos Sainz got a great start, by the way. Max Verstappen had to cover it off, and Carlos was just ahead as they went into turn 1. But Max Verstappen, I'm sorry, I think Max Verstappen may have even gone over the white line there to defend. So not only did Max Verstappen not leave a car's width, he may have even gone off track to defend it. Now that's how Max drives. He'll just say, look, you're not going to get through. I don't know if that's right or wrong. Don't know if anyone saw that. 9-second delay for Nando. Not sure what that's about. John saying, I think Aston can win. P3 to P20 for Lando Norris, yes. Although, is he purple there? Is he at the back of the grid setting a purple lap time faster than Max Verstappen? Interesting. Interesting. I don't know if you're on a delay, but we're on lap 4, mate, Nando. So I think it sounds like you're on a little bit of a delay, my friend. Max Verstappen 2 seconds ahead. 2 seconds ahead for Max Verstappen. And DRS is now open. So now we're going to see there were 75 overtakes last year, I think I heard. And now we're going to see it's going to be an Alfa Romeo trying to go round the outside. As I mentioned, George Russell, turn 1 instant, leaving the track and gaining an advantage has been noted. It has been noted for George Russell. He took to the escape road, the new escape road there, and I think he gained quite a few positions. Obviously going from, like, what was it, P11 or something, up to P7. That has been noted, and he might get slapped with a penalty. So he's decided to sort of take that into his own hands and deal with the consequences afterwards. Yes, we're on lap 5 right now, everyone. And Lando Norris, again, I think, setting another fastest lap. Remember, by the way, the pole lap was a 1 minute 12. So these cars are 8 seconds slower. If you did this in qualifying, you probably wouldn't be allowed to start the race. You'd be that much slower. That is how much these cars handle differently when they're fueled up, when they're trying to conserve the tyres. Desperado coming in from Snow Line there. Try to glance down the lap times and see Charles Leclerc obviously also trying to do well. He's only got past Logan Sargent. He hasn't been able to get past Alex Albon yet. So it's pretty much a disaster for Charles Leclerc. He is within a second there of Alex Albon. Liam saying Norris is flying. Yeah, keep an eye on Lando Norris, everyone. Keep an eye on Lando Norris, because I just wonder if he can do something funny on the strategy. He's gone on to the hard tyre. So he's basically got his pit stop out of the way. Valtteri Bottas, by the way, is in the pits. I'm not sure why, but Valtteri Bottas is in the pits, so he's dropped down as well. But yeah, Lando Norris is the man on the move. What Lando Norris is doing, I really... what Valtteri Bottas is doing, I really don't know. It's a 4.9 second stop, so that's too quick to change the front wing, but it's quite slow for the brakes, for the tyres only. So maybe there was some sort of issue they had to deal with. Snowline saying Norris is often pretty fast. Can Lando get that car back into the points? That's going to be the critical one. By the way, the gap at the front is absolutely mad. It's almost 3 second gap between Verstappen and Sainz. Almost 3 seconds already. We'll see what Lando can do. We spoke about it. He's got to keep cool. He's on a different strat now. The strategists will be working it out. Is there going to be rain in this race? We will see, because that could shift everything. Yeah, both Red Bulls starting on the medium tyre. They didn't want to use the soft. They might be going medium hard. Actually, they might be trying to do a one-stop, but at Max Verstappen's pace, I don't know, because he's already gapped Carlos Sainz by 3 seconds. Absolutely unreal. George Russell's up to P7, by the way. So you've got Verstappen, Sainz, Stroll, Hamilton, Esteban Ocon, and Russell overtakes Alonso going into turn 1. You can see on your live standings there. Russell is now up to P6, but will he have a big penalty? He'll say he had no choice but to go off the track. I wonder, by the way, because Max Verstappen defended so hard against Carlos Sainz on lap 1, turn 1, whether Carlos Sainz could have been a little bit cheeky and taken the off-road there and gone out ahead and say, well, I'm not giving back an advantage because, you know, Max Verstappen, he basically ran me off the road. Puncture for Bottas, maybe, could be. I'm going to change my battery in my headphones. Take this opportunity, by the way, drop a like on the stream. Can we get to 100 likes? Possibly. Lewis Hamilton's going to try and come back at Lance Stroll here. That's going to be the play. Might see it. You'll see it on... Yes, you've seen it on your screen already on the standings. Lewis Hamilton getting past Lance Stroll. So caught napping, really. I think it was lap 1 or lap 2. But Hamilton's now ahead. And what did the Mercedes have? The Mercedes looking quite good. I'm on board with Charles Leclerc. I'm doing a pit stop on my own there, aren't I? Charles Leclerc up into 16. That must have been on Alex Albon. Yes, it is. He's got Nick De Vries next in his sights. But what can Mercedes do? Taking a look there. Hamilton on Lance Stroll round the outside. Pretty much a regulation move. And further down, I think that is Oscar Piastri going around Nico Hülkenberg. So even though Nico Hülkenberg got through to Q3, he's now only one position ahead of Kevin Magnussen in P12. So it hasn't really worked out there for the Haas team, even though Hülkenberg has been looking pretty strong all weekend, I have to say. So a little bit of a surprising one there for me. Oscar Piastri working his way through. So the McLarens, as we know, have pace. Lando Norris able to put in P3. So you've got Norris working his way back from the back of the grid. He's in last place. You've got Charles Leclerc on the hard tyre. He is... So you only have Bottas, Norris and Leclerc on the hard tyre. And there are quite a few overtakes going on. Although Verstappen does set the fast lap now. So Verstappen again on the move. You will have to keep an eye on the old radar. I think if you're Lando Norris, you're probably hoping for that rain, but actually strategy-wise, you'd have to do another pit stop. So we'll have to see what Lando can do. But Verstappen, yes, setting the fastest lap there. And you can see it's a 4.5 second gap to Carlos Sainz. He's making Carlos Sainz look absolutely ordinary here. But keep an eye on the Mercedes. Can George Russell get into, as we see Sergio Perez go round the outside of Guan Yu Zhou and make the overtake stick? Can we see George Russell get into Esteban Ocon? Look at Gasly, by the way. Gasly got into Q3, then he got the penalty for impeding. All the way down in P13th place. He's sort of really last of those sort of runners because he's only got De Vries behind him. And then you've got Leclerc who started from the pits. No penalty, by the way, for George Russell. There's going to be no penalty for George Russell. That is very, very, very interesting. Because I think he definitely gained positions, to be honest. Definitely gained some positions there. Liam saying Leclerc's going nowhere. I agree. I mean, this has not really worked out for Charles Leclerc. Although he's in a better position than Lando Norris, really. Unless somehow Norris can go to the end on the hard tyre. But that would have to be insane. When people are talking about this being a two-stop race, I don't think you're going to be able to go to the end pitting on lap 1. Max Verstappen, it's almost a 5-second gap now. This is absolutely dominant from Max Verstappen. Snowline saying Russell will start steamrolling everyone. Anyone impressed with anyone so far? Anyone that we've missed out here in the standings that we should be impressed by? Let us know. What happened to Hülkenberg? He has surely pitted. I'm having a look here. Guan Yu Zhou is in the pits. Yeah, Hülkenberg must have pitted. So people are pitting early. Nick De Vries in the pits as well. Oh, it was close between De Vries coming in and Guan Yu Zhou coming out in the pit lane, I can tell you that. So people are making those pit stops early, getting off the soft tyres. I question whether the soft tyre was going to be used in this race. I don't fully understand why you would go soft, medium, medium, or soft, hard, medium, as opposed to going medium, hard, unless the mediums just won't get you to a one-stop. That's the only thing I can imagine. But we might see cars here using all three compounds in this race. But yes, the soft tyres just falling apart. And this is the play maybe by Max Verstappen. He's on a tyre that's a little bit more durable. So he's going to go longer and he's going faster. He's having the best of both worlds here, is Max Verstappen. Because Max and Sergio were the only two drivers to start on the medium tyre. Graham saying, Hamilton, let us know if you want me to pick up anything in the chat, by the way. Just ping me in the chat and we can do that. George Russell is well in the tow, by the way, of Esteban Ocon. Well in the tow, going into turn 1 on my screen. Not going to quite be able to do it. Oh, he goes up the inside, does George Russell. So he has done it. George Russell has done it. George Russell gets Esteban Ocon in turn 1. And now he's going to be trying to catch up with Lance Stroll. Wow, it's all chopping and changing, isn't it? You can have a look at the intervals there. I mean, Verstappen is just continuing to absolutely gap Carlos Sainz. Very quick stop for Tsunoda, by the way. 2.7 quick stop for Tsunoda. That's decent. Haas doing a 2.6 for Magnussen. So you can see at the bottom of the grid there, you've got drivers who have been into the pits and coming out. Either I think Leclerc doing well. I think Leclerc is inheriting a lot of positions, but that could have been the strat. That could have been the strat there for Charles Leclerc. Where is Perez? Perez is in P8, and he's less than a second off Fernando Alonso. That means he is going to be within DRS range. Are we going to see Carlos Sainz, Hamilton, Stroll, Russell, Esteban Ocon, and Fernando Alonso jump into the pits imminently? A lot of the other soft tyre runners have done it. I'm having a look here with a replay about a car coming out of the pits, and it's 3 wide going into turn 1, and I think it must have been Hülkenberg or Kevin Magnussen who goes round the outside at turn 1. So it was interesting there as people trying to do undercuts. Alonso's struggling to keep the softs in good shape. Okay, yeah, the softs are going to fall apart. It's going to be like confetti in a moment. Verstappen easing a little bit same tyres. Will Sergio Perez go very long on the mediums? We know he's a bit of a tyre whisperer. Can he do that? Evo saying Alonso will pit. He started on used softs. So Alonso going on the scrub softs. Very interesting. Vina, I think Lewis 2 and Russell 3 position Merc. Only car getting close to the Verstappen lap time. You can see here Carlos Sainz trying his best. Nico Hülkenberg with the fastest lap of the race on the medium tyre. So everyone is managing the tyres right now. You are not seeing ultimate pace, by the way. So this is a conscious decision by Ferrari and Carlos Sainz to keep pace in reserve, because they could definitely go faster. You can see that because Nico Hülkenberg has just set a blistering lap time, albeit on the medium tyre, a fresh medium. So it's all about the tyre management. Oh, look at the love hearts in chat. You love to see it. Spam those emojis in the chat to signify whatever emotion it is this Spanish GP is making you feel. We're on lap, going on to lap 14 here. Max Verstappen is 6 seconds ahead of Carlos Sainz and on a more durable tyre. All of the drivers below, I think Logan Sargent have pitted, by the way. I think Logan Sargent is the last driver to have not pitted. That is the way that I'm reading this race. And by the way, you still got Lando Norris down there in last place, although now he's only 3 seconds off Nick De Vries. What if you get a safety car here? That will bunch it all up, won't it? Wow, Sainz saying switch position Sierra. I thought that was going to be some sort of switch position. In fact, they're getting onto Carlos Sainz saying, okay, understood, you need to pick up the pace. So I was saying just now that Ferrari and Carlos will be managing it, but actually it sounds like they want Carlos to pick up that pace. I suspect Carlos has pace in reserve when they're saying, hang on, we need to go fast in our target time. They may have a target lap time and Sainz might just be hitting it, because that's what they're predicting with the tyre wear. But now they're realising they need to go a little bit harder than that. 400 people in the stream. Awesome to see you all. Hope you're enjoying the Spanish GP here. This watch along as a Alpine dives into the pits. Is that going to be Gasly? Is it going to be Ocon? I will have a look. Who is that diving into the pits? I believe it is Esteban Ocon who'd just been overtaken by George Russell. He's going to come in, take off those soft tyres. What's he going to go on to? I'll have a look. I've got the aerial view, so I can't quite see. It looks like the yellow-walled medium tyre for Esteban Ocon. And almost certainly this is going to be a two-stop race for most of these drivers, I would say. Yes, Ferrari are asking Carlos Sainz to increase the pace. So keep an eye on that delta there. 7 seconds. By the way, Esteban Ocon comes out of the pits and gets absolutely swamped by Nico Hülkenberg, Guan Yu Zhou and Yuki Tsunoda like a pack of rabid hyenas, and he just about emerges ahead of them, and they will continue to squabble. There is a huge battle going on for P14. It's a war down there in the trenches for P14. But Esteban Ocon just gets away ahead. I am shocked that he's ended up so far down there, considering that he started this GP well higher than those drivers. Much higher than Guan Yu Zhou. So what he's doing down there, I really don't understand. Have a look at the gap, 7.5 seconds. Can Carlos Sainz either stabilise it or bring it down? I can tell you on my screen the gap has gone to 7.1 seconds. So Carlos Sainz might be deploying a little bit more. Lance Stroll in the pits, by the way. Stroll in the pits, he comes out ahead of Esteban Ocon. Very, very, very important to do that. Matt Martin, yes, welcome to the people tuning in. 420 people watching. Hashtag nice. Make sure to hit that like button. If just 7 of you hit it, we'll get to 100 likes. Send those good signals. It's a 2.6 second stop for Lance Stroll, by the way. Just going to see on the visuals where he came out relative to that group. He was quite a bit clear of that gaggle of cars, and comes out actually ahead of Esteban Ocon as well. So your driver's still yet to pit off the soft tyre. He managed to go to lap 15. Carlos Sainz. Lewis Hamilton, who is now in 3rd place and less than a second off Sainz. Carlos Sainz is now at risk of the undercut by Lewis Hamilton. If I was Mercedes here, I would definitely undercut Carlos Sainz. Will we see Lewis Hamilton jump into the pits and operate that undercut? No, because Carlos Sainz, I believe, has covered him off. Carlos Sainz has covered him off. So Carlos, frankly, was forced into the pits maybe a little bit earlier than he would have wanted. Carlos and Ferrari, they're looking forward to Max Verstappen, but they had to look behind as well and cover off Lewis Hamilton there. So Carlos Sainz going on to the fresher tyres, fresher medium tyres. Look like a decent stop. I will see the time. It's a 2.9, not quite the fastest, but still... anything within 2 seconds, I think, is still a decent stop. And he will no doubt keep that position. No worries, Shiv. Good to see you. By the way, let us know where in the world are you watching from. Let us know where in the world. Just put your country in the chat. Rep your nation in the chat so we can see which country has got the biggest support in this stream. Where are the F1 fans? I'm on board here, I believe, with Guan Yu Zhou. That'll be going up the inside. Nico Hülkenberg, probably. They're in a real dramatic battle there, the battle for P15. Hülkenberg with the fastest lap. He's just been overtaken by Guan Yu Zhou. Australia, Netherlands. Sachindan saying yes. Lando Norris unfortunately kind of ran into the back of Lewis Hamilton on the first lap in turn 2, so he had to pit for a new nose cone. Hamilton's on the radio. Are they going to box Hamilton? It looks to be very close, by the way. Actually, no, I was reading I thought it was close between Hamilton and Russell, but it isn't. But when you think about it, George Russell's had a fantastic race here because he didn't even get up into Q3, and now he's provisionally in P3, but he will drop below Carlos Sainz for sure. Will he drop below Lance Stroll? Yet to be seen. Plantport's just subscribed. Plantport, you've been in the chat loads of times. Keep that subscribe button pressed, Plantport, next time. Barbados is here. Australia, Netherlands, Canada, India, Fiji. Welcome, Fiji, Australia, Philadelphia, West Midlands. Great to see Barbados, Australia, Ireland, Uganda in the chat, Netherlands. More people from the Philippines. Was the race safety card or red flagged? Nowhere. Oscar Piastri's up into P6, but he has not pitted yet. That's a little bit deceptive. Charles Leclerc dives into the pits super early. Wow. What is Charles Leclerc doing in the pits that early? That does not make any sense whatsoever. Because he started on the hard tyres and he is boxed before Lewis Hamilton and George Russell on the softs. Chat, can someone explain why Charles Leclerc has pitted there? His whole strat should have been based around going longer than other drivers. Doesn't make any sense. Welcome, Caribbean Racer. T's watching from Neptune, Georgia as well, UK and Kent. What is Charles Leclerc doing Trinidad, we've got a lot of viewers from the Caribbean. Welcome to our Caribbean viewers. Good to see you. Have Ferrari called in the wrong driver here or something? What are Ferrari doing, by the way? That doesn't make any sense. He may as well have started on the soft tyre. It doesn't make any sense. I mean, Carlos Sainz started on the softs and pitted 1 lap before. It's just mad. This Ferrari strat just makes me want to tear my hair out, frankly. Absolutely insane. So remember, Piastri in the pits, by the way. Carlos Sainz is trying to not really do an undercut to overtake, but do an undercut to keep his position from Lewis Hamilton. We will see when Hamilton pits. Will he go up in? Will he maintain P2, or will he get overtaken? We will see. He said he has no grip. You can say what he wants, frankly, but they've called that wrong. Then they should have started him on the soft tyre or the medium tyre, so he would have had that pace at the beginning if he was going to box early anyway. Oh, nice one, Plantport on the double sub. That's what true pros do. Get that double sub, even the triple sub. Hamilton faster than Max this lap. Wow. This is very interesting at the front of the race because Lewis Hamilton and George Russell and Pierre Gasly are the only 3 soft tyre runners who have not pitted yet, and they're basically going on to lap 20. So are they going to be trying to do a 1-stop where other drivers are going to have to do a 2-stop? This could be it. We could be witnessing a very different strategy play here. Saving a whole pit stop. We saw this last year with the temperatures as well. Get out of here, Liam. I see you. Get out of here, Liam. Welcome from the Philippines. Wow, Philippines, Caribbean. Got it all covered today. George Russell getting on... he's been told there's a lot more pace in the tyres. I think that Mercedes are a little bit surprised about how well the softs are hanging on together, and they're telling drivers push a little bit more. They're going to push past the estimated pit stop. They might now be able to push into a 1-stop and save a whole pit stop. Any news on the rain? Nigel says no rain on track right now, although it's not sunny. It is still overcast. Norris pitted very, very, very early. Lap 1 actually, because he had damage to his nose cone. Damage to his nose cone there. But yeah, this is absolutely insane at the front of the grid. Hamilton, by the way, keeping Verstappen kind of honest in the sense that Verstappen doesn't have a free pit stop. Let's put it like that. Let's put it like that. And if you're Mercedes now, by the way, if you're Mercedes now, you could leave Russell out there potentially and hold up Verstappen, right? If they wanted to play the proper team orders game, you could leave Russell out there. You could try and undercut Verstappen with Hamilton. Anyone seeing that? Or is that too ambitious? Let me know. Fernando Alonso's coming into the pits, by the way. So Alonso is in the pits, I believe, for his first stop, although he wasn't really setting it on fire. And Gasly as well. So the only 2 drivers, the only 3 drivers in the race, only 4 drivers in the race where it's not pitted: Verstappen, Hamilton, Russell, and Perez. So both Red Bulls, both for Mercedes doing something very special on the tyres here, making them work. Out of those 4 drivers, who is going to blink first? Li Shan is expecting an Alpine DNF. I wouldn't see that. Verstappen, yeah, Verstappen is on an advantage here because he's on the medium now. But remember, it can flip. Hamilton and Russell, they can go on the mediums for their next stint, so that would equalise it a little bit. Arguably, you want to be on the softer tyre near the end when the fuel's lighter. But just because Verstappen's on the mediums now, you know, maybe the mediums is a very good tyre. I really didn't rate the soft tyre here as a race tyre. I'm surprised more drivers didn't start on the mediums, to be honest. Welcome, David. Max and Lewis would be awesome. Yeah, could we be in line for a Max and Lewis fight? And what will they do with George Russell? Are they going to box Russell? You can see they're still going around there. Oh, Grandpa Barbecue with the $5 Australian. Kireth, you need content. I hope you're special about your channel. Thank you so much, by the way. Yes, I am doing this full time at the moment just for your viewing pleasure. Please can we get some claps out in the chat for Grandpa's Barbecue donating $5 Australian, 5 very hard earned Australian $5 from Grandpa. Can we get some claps out in the chat? Absolutely insane. By the way, Shiv saying Russell is unsafe to Verstappen. I'm not sure about that. I think he's still safe, but I might be wrong. But yes, please get some claps on chat. There we go. Evo, Kate as well, Snow Lion, Danny. We love to see it. Supporting our community, absolutely insane. Makes it possible for me to do these streams. Look at the love flowing in chat. Absolutely great. Grandpa already a legend of the stream. Hopefully doing some good barbecuing down there in Australia. Oh, he's generally a risk. Okay, we'll see. I'm looking at the stop for Pierre Gasly, and it was a slow stop. Did they have a penalty or something? It was a very, very, very slow stop for Pierre Gasly, who already is not having the best race, I have to say. Really not having a good race. Welcome to all of our new subs as well. And you can see Verstappen, Hamilton, Russell, Perez still going long. I mean, how much longer has Hamilton and Russell gone than Carlos Sainz went, for example? Insane. But is Lewis Hamilton? I think Lewis Hamilton is extending the gap on Sergio Perez. I think Lewis Hamilton... Oh, it's difficult to say. Lewis Hamilton is not really losing a lot of time to Sergio Perez, basically. So, you know, to Carlos Sainz. If Carlos Sainz has to do one more stop than Lewis Hamilton, then Lewis Hamilton he's going to gain so much time. Does that make sense? He's not losing that much to Carlos Sainz on track, but he might be saving a whole pit stop. Alonso, is that double softs confirmed? Because Alonso then is fully committed to the two-stop strategy. Lisan's saying Alonso double softs. Yes. Great spot there. Funky saying Russell wants to stay out. So the tyres are surprising people. Remember last year, the tyres, the front left, you know, we saw Carlos Sainz go off the track. We saw Max Verstappen go off the track. The front left's absolutely boiled. But with the overcast conditions here, track temps being cooler, we're not seeing the Pirelli tyres fall apart like they did last year. And we're seeing some of the teams being brave and going quite deep. I think we have in this race a two-stop race and we have a one-stop race. And I think maybe surprisingly for Red Bull, the Mercedes are able to hang on at the moment and keep in the fight in the one-stop. That's what I think. And if the rain is to come, that would change everything once again. David's saying you can't one-stop here. David, I have to fundamentally disagree, I'm afraid, because I think Verstappen, Hamilton, Russell and Perez, they can go onto the hard tyre. The only information we have, by the way, is that Charles Leclerc went onto the hard tyre and he bailed Lando Norris in the pits again, by the way. Well, okay, 2 bits of information. Charles Leclerc and Lando Norris have already come off the hard tyre. So maybe there's an issue with the hard tyre. Hang on, let's Evo is saying one stop is possible. One stop may not be possible, actually, if you look at what's happening to those certified hard tyre runners. Why? Oh, what's happening with Lando Norris? He's still showing in the pits. Is there a big issue for Lando there? Is there a big issue for Lando? Still in the pits? Maybe there was some damage there. So let's just hold off on that thought. I can't see on the feed. Something may have happened with Lando Norris. I'm just looking at the standings there. We know Lando's in last place. So that might be a little bit of a red herring. We will see. But we know Charles Leclerc came off. But that might be Ferrari strat. Frankly, there's so much going on here. Chat, can anyone confirm what's going on with Lando? Medium to... I don't think you can do medium to soft. No way. You can. If you want to do a one-stop here, you're going to have to use a hard tyre. 100%. Even though legally you could do the medium and the soft. I don't think that ain't going to cut it. To be honest. Yes. Wow, this is pretty crazy. Chat, I think Lando's out of the race. Unless that leaderboard is wrong. But I'm not sure. It's showing him as being on softs, hards and mediums. And in fact, that's what I'm seeing now in my standings. Pop back on the standings. So Lando Norris has been on every tyre in this race. Does that mean that they think the medium tyre, the McLaren think the medium tyre is the one to go? There we go. Hamilton in the pits. Comes out behind Carlos Sainz, about 3 seconds behind. But he's gone how many laps further? Has he gone almost 10 laps further than Carlos Sainz? Is that going to be the difference? So would you give up 3 seconds of trap? And remember, he was also behind Carlos Sainz. So I think he's lost about 2 seconds. But he's sort of saved 10 laps in the pit strategy. Does that make sense? how deep can Sergio Perez go? Not something that you hear every day, but how long can Sergio Perez go in this race? And George Russell, is he going to come? So Hamilton has gone softs to mediums. Softs to mediums for Lewis Hamilton, everyone. Wow, okay. Is that a committal to the 2-stop? What's going on with Lando? I think there's just an issue on your timing there, but Lando he has pitted again, and he is about 16 seconds behind Logan Sargent. I think you have some issues with your telemetry with Kevin Magnussen and Lando, perhaps. Russell's pitting, so confirm Russell into the pits. Comes out behind Lance Stroll. So Lance Stroll, wow. So we saw Russell overtook Stroll before he pitted. So that's the undercut working for Stroll. So unlike Lewis Hamilton, who effectively didn't lose a position, George Russell has actually lost a position. Oh, they're great because they've been lapped. Oh, Lando Norris has been lapped already. Oh, my bad. Okay. There we go. Great insight there from the Motorsport Magpie. So Lando's been... Oh, there's contact. Someone else has lost an end plate. I think it might be Nick DeVries. Get out of here with your promoing your own stream. We don't need that. We got it all covered here. Don't worry. We got it under control. We don't need to spam that other stream. Perez should go faster. Tyres failing. We will see. It is a Red Bull 1-2 at the moment. And I think a clear indication in the difference in pace between Red Bull and Ferrari is have a look where Charles Leclerc is in this race. I mean, he's having the most painful of races there. It's not looking good for Charles Leclerc at all. Really not looking good. Max in the pits. It's been called Max in the pits. Max in the pits, and he's going to stay. He's going to stay. Surely, that's unbelievable if he's going to stay in P1. Yes, because everyone... Well, yes, everyone else behind him, apart from Sergio Perez, has pitted. So it's not a free pit stop per se. And I'm going to see here what tyres he went onto. It's mediums onto, I think, that is the hard tyre for Max Verstappen. So Red Bull here, they are going for the 1-stop. Thanks patiently. Yeah, please hit that like button, everyone. I'm trying to see, actually, is that red? I can't see this red and white on that tyre. No, it's a hard tyre. It's a hard tyre. Got a red ring on the inside, the white-walled hard tyre. So Max Verstappen is fully committed to a 1-stop here. Lewis Hamilton has gone from softs onto mediums. I'm not sure that is possible. I'm not sure. 2.2 second pit stop for Max is, I think, maybe equal to the quickest pit stop we've seen this season. I think the quickest one was in Saudi. And Sergio Perez now, very, very, very clearly, is going to be on a 1-stop strategy. And so is Max Verstappen, having to use 2 jacks for a Haas pit stop there. Interesting to see. Ethan saying it's going to shake everything up in race. There's someone in the chat. We've got 800 people watching. Can someone just go to a satellite weather thing for Catalonia and just let us know what's going on in the satellite and just put it in with some rain emojis or cloud emojis, whatever it is. Vino saying if the hard tyre is not working up to temperature, then Max is in trouble. I don't think Max is in trouble at all. But the race I'm watching right now... Oh, Lewis Hamilton goes, overtakes Carlos Sainz. That's what I was looking for. Hamilton goes past Sainz and Verstappen in the pits. 2 big developments there. So Hamilton is the car behind Max Verstappen. And he's... Oh, Russell saying rain at turn 5. Hang on a second. Rain at turn 5. That is the message from George Russell. So the rain at turn 5 is an unusual corner where I would not expect you to see rain first because it's in the infield off the track. There's a yellow warning for a storm at Catalonia. Rain, rain, rain. And Carlos Sainz has just pitted, but everyone's just pitted. This is probably good news if you're a 2-stop runner and you're haven't done your second stop yet. Whereas Max Verstappen might lose that advantage of being on the 1-stop. Danny's come in with the rain. Russell says rain. Liam says it's raining. Do we have any emoji thing here? Who's got the emoji thing? Let's do the shocked face. I want to see those shocked faces absolutely spammed. And the confetti as well. That will simulate the rain. Verstappen is going to lose a lot. Look at that. People spamming the emojis. We love to see it. Verstappen has just pitted as it rains. That is what we are hearing. And if the microphone's falling down... There we go. George Russell, by the way, with the fastest Sector 1. So he says it's raining, but he just goes absolutely purple. And Lewis Hamilton is dropping. Christian Horner has his hand out in the pit box. He's feeling the rain. He's looking out to the north of the circuit. I think rain is inbound. I think rain is inbound. My word. People who benefit from this. Carlos Sainz, he's 13 laps old. Lance Stroll, he's 16 laps on the softs. He's just, if you're Lance Stroll here, you got to stay out. You got to stay out. Lance Stroll, the people that are going for the 2-stop race are probably about to go onto their second tyre. We're probably just about to enter the window. But they have to wait. They have to wait. Verstappen's your race leader, and Lewis Hamilton, the gap is 12 seconds. So Verstappen really wants to, whilst it's dry here, eke out potentially a free pit stop in case he needs it. And also, if he has more of a buffer there, he can see what the cars are going to do behind. He can see what the strat is behind. You know, who's going to move early. Maybe a Haas will move early. Maybe an Alfa will move early. And he can inspect calmly and see. That is the optimal strat there. So that is what Verstappen is going to be trying to do. But remember, there are some drivers deep into their strategy about to make their second pit stop. Go onto their third tyre for the day. Spain being spicy. Well, as Vlatko will tell you, it did rain in 1996 for the Spanish GP here. So Russell reported rain, but oh, it's very overcast at the north of the circuit. That looks like rain at the north of the circuit. Not on the circuit. Want to be very clear. I can't see any rain. No doubt we'll get a camera angle looking at a puddle or something. It's difficult to see when I'm looking at such a small screen, but I will relay it. What happened to that Lando dude? Lando's on the bucket. Lando's doing a 6-stop strat here. So he's already done every tyre. Lando might do the full sweep. He might do softs, medium, hards, inters, and wets. And that's what we call a Formula 1 flush. That's a Formula 1 flush in the no. When you do a race and you use literally every single compound. You actually get a little bonus from Formula 1 if you do it. They give you a little bonus. It comes from Pirelli because Pirelli like to encourage someone advertising every single compound. That is a 100% true fact. Go and fact check it. Come at me. Alonso is being chased here by Perez. Perez is having a great race here. We sort of slated him yesterday, but he's doing everything he can. I think Perez might be able to get up to a P5 here. I think Perez might be looking at a P5. That's my prediction for Sergio Perez. But if you're Lance Stroll, keep an eye on Lance Stroll because he is the highest runner on the soft tyre and he is about 17, 18 laps deep into the softs. That's quite a long way to go for the softs for most drivers. Obviously, the Mercedes made them go a little bit longer. So if we see Aston Martin box Lance Stroll, they probably think it's not worth waiting for any sort of rain. Yes, Sachin knows. Max is pulling away, yes, but not as much as he was pulling away from Carlos Sainz, I have to say. And Lewis Hamilton's probably a more formidable person behind than Carlos Sainz. As I have a look here, the Red Bull of Perez getting past Fernando Alonso. It's just a regulation DRS overtake into turn 1, I have to say. George Russell is the man who holds the fastest lap at the moment, I believe. And is Carlos Sainz in trouble? Keep an eye on the gap between Russell and Sainz. By the way, Verstappen has a free pit stop and would come out in P4. He has a free pit stop ahead of Lance Stroll. Welcome to Naga Raju. Welcome to Naga Raju in the chat here, just joining. We are not even half of the way through this GP. Normally, we get taken down by this point. So this is good news, everyone. Good news. Thank you, everyone who emailed in our support to say, look, we're not broadcasting any footage of the race, therefore this stream is good to go. I appreciate you. You're safeguarding the community. Thanks, Trevor Biddle from the Biddle Westmere's Gypsy in the house, the formidable Biddle. That was quite nice, actually. I didn't know that was going to be a nice alliteration. Ross says, is anyone else reporting rain? I think it's sweat from the inside of my helmet. Sounds like it's just you that's reporting rain. I think it might be the sweat. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Rewind. Rewind. Can we get the rewind emojis out? Whoa, whoa, whoa. Rewind that. Can we get the rewind emojis? Russell reported rain, but it's sweat on the inside of his helmet. Name a more classic George Russell thing than that, by the way. Can we get some sweat emojis out for George Russell thinking it was raining but it was actually, look, this is actually George Russell. That emoji there, that's George Russell right now. Is it raining? He's not that guy in the airplane movie. Is it raining? No, George, it's just your sweat, bro. Real athletes sweat. So, Russell scammer, yeah, clickbait Russell. Clickbait George. Absolutely disgraceful there from George Russell with that rain clickbait. Although it does look overcast, I have to say. Even Christian Horner he had his hand out like this. He was like, is it raining? Is it raining? Is it raining? Someone just opened like a sparkling water next to him. He was like, oh, it's definitely raining. Sweaty faced George. Yeah, old sweaty George there thinking it's raining, but he's just absolutely soaking in his own perspiration. Typical George. Right, let's continue with the race, shall we? Because Lewis Hamilton is not really letting Max get away that far, although I think Max is pretty close to getting a free pit stop on George Russell. Yeah, Liam just put a photo of George Russell in the chat there. I didn't know you could put photos in YouTube chats, but you've actually just put a photo. Princess George. Yeah, princesses don't sweat. Not if you're George Russell. we gotta lay off here. George isn't gonna be too happy with this, is he? Well, we have, by the way, just hit the halfway point. Sergio Perez is only, like I predicted, he's only 3 seconds off P5. I think P5 is definitely doable for Sergio Perez here. And also, he is definitely going on a one-stop. Red Bull running the same strategy at the moment. We know that Sergio Perez needs a good race here. Welcome out, welcome Kiki, David, Matt. Sergio Perez making a very regulation move, I think, on Yuki Tsunoda there. Not sure why we've got a replay of that. Sergio Perez's dad, is he going to smile? He's on the camera. We're going to get a grin from Sergio Perez's dad. No grin from Perez's dad. The mood is not good in the Perez camp there, unfortunately. Mercedes strategy, lie like a dog on a rug. We will see. George Russell still has the fastest lap. And by the way, this is a great race for Mercedes. Make no bones about it. By the way, Sergio Perez getting past Esteban Ocon like Ocon wasn't even there. That Red Bull is quick. But I think this is a big race for Mercedes, clearly showing that they are quite a bit faster than Carlos Sainz here. To solidify that, we'll need to see George Russell overtake Carlos Sainz. But this is, in terms of the momentum of the season, at the moment we're seeing a big swing towards Mercedes. They've added a side pod, and suddenly the performance is back. Never should have dropped the side pod. How is Stroll beating Alonso? Well, he did start ahead of Alonso. And also, he's not, because he's just pitted. So, Stroll has pitted, Tsunoda's pitted. What does that mean? They've decided to go onto and do what will be their final stop of the race. I think Lance Stroll, you'll see, going onto the hard tyre. Off the softs, onto the hards. They're committed. They don't think there's going to be any rain. So they've just, or in the near future, they decided to go. Robert Slow can see a future in professional commentating. Definitely not professional commentating. Maybe unprofessional commentating. Maybe that is our calling. We will see. We will see as I'm having a look here at... Oh, George Russell up the inside of Carlos Sainz. Gets their move done near the end of the braking phase. The Mercedes are looking quite a lot quicker than Ferrari here. Ferrari struggled in the temperatures last year, didn't they? Had the one lap pace, but struggled there. So... yeah, Lance Stroll all the way down in P13. That's what you find when you have two-stop races. It ends up just getting really out of sync by the second stop. So we need everything to shake down. But not everyone is going to do a two-stop. The big question is, is Lewis Hamilton and George Russell doing a two-stop or a one-stop? How long can those mediums go? Also, a big question is, can Red Bull actually do a one-stop here? They've done everything right. They've gone from medium to hard, most durable compounds. But is that hard tyre going to last 40 laps? I do not know. I actually don't know. We will see. I can't be professional. We keep getting taken down. 900 people watching. By the way, at this rate, we're gonna smash through 1,000 current viewers. When we hit 1,000 current viewers, I want you to get your cheering emojis out in the chat, hitting the big 1K. We all deserve it. You more than me, frankly, because I'm just chatting nonsense about a race. I don't even know. I don't know anything about racing. But I do know something about hydration. Having another look here at George Russell going up the inside of Carlos Sainz. I want to see the movements here. Carlos Sainz, did he move? Yeah, he moved a little. Whoa! Some will say triple movement from Carlos Sainz in the braking zone there. He kind of went defensive. George Russell went on the inside, went defensive again, and went defensive again. So is that one sort of staggered movement? It's like rugby, isn't it? When you kind of go score a try. Oh, 4.2 seconds off for Ocon. That's very slow. That might cost him a position. In fact, I think it has cost him a position to Yuki Tsunoda. So Ocon, Alpine not doing a good job there. Eric saying Perez fast. He is too slow. People saying Perez is too slow. Welcome Lena and welcome Dadzuli. Welcome Dadzuli. What the hell is this thing doing? Come on, stay up. Oh man. It's so difficult being... Ah!
So this is P10.
These are like these adverts that you get in the oh, there we go. Okay. We'll have to keep it. We'll keep it there. Is that good? That's a bit too close. There we go. I like it like that. That's my style. Perez again gaining a second on Sainz. Perez gaining a second on Sainz. Yeah, but I'm surprised the gap is... Well, hang on. Whoa. I thought Perez a P5 was on, but now I look at it, Perez is going to catch Sainz here easy. There's only 7 seconds in it, and there's quite a long way to go in this race. So, yeah, Perez is going to do everything he needed to do to recover from that horrendous qualifying session. And by the way, can we be a little bit... Can we be a little bit sympathetic towards Sergio Perez? He had a snap in qualifying where he lost the back end like he did at Monaco, so it might be a weird thing going on in the car. Went onto the gravel and then had to do his fastest lap, having just come out of the gravel with sort of dusty tyres, gravel everywhere. So, you know, let's not write off the man yet. Let's not write off the man. Hopefully we'll see a big smile on Perez Senior's face before the race is done. Could Sergio Perez even get on the podium? Well, I'll tell you this. If he's able to do a one-stop, damn right he could. If Red Bull are on a one-stop here, they could do it. 100%. Sachin's on the weather radar. If rain will come, it will come from Sector 3 northeast. Yes, I will keep looking for you. But I do believe it's coming from the northeast. By the way, I want to do a roll call. We've just gone over 1k. That's it. I'm going to bring out the flag. Who's the fastest driver? Let me know in the chat. Is it this man, Fernando Alonso, or is it Max Verstappen, the generational talent? Who's faster? Who's the faster driver? This man? Or this man? Is it this man? Look at the big brain. Can we do the big brain strat? Did that look like big brain? I couldn't see it because I couldn't see the thing. People saying Max pulling away. He's not pulling away as much as he pulled away from Carlos Sainz. I have to say, the gap is 15 seconds. Although he now does have a pit stop in hand on George Russell. He's got a pit stop in hand on George Russell. And Bottas being told to slow people down. So not sure what that's about. Maybe he's trying to hold off people from Guan Yu Zhou. Alex Albon's in the pit again. People saying Max. Grandpa noting that Leclerc is up to P9 but needs another stop. Good observation there. I don't think Leclerc... Is he on the hards again? Does he definitely need another stop? Probably he does, doesn't he? Because he pitted so early. The tyre wear just hasn't really worked out for Ferrari. Shiv saying Alonso is timeless. It's 2023 now. Respect to Alonso. Yes, we love the man. Oh, a lock up there by a Haas, who's chasing an Alfa Romeo. That must be Kevin Magnussen, with a big lock up there in the infield. I'm kind of a little bit lost on the strategy now, I have to say. Apart from, if we go from the top, Russell and Perez we think are on one stops. Hamilton and Russell we don't know. Sainz has to pit again. I just wonder if people are going to get caught out here in the two stop. Is there anyone in the midfield who's able to do a one stop? I don't know. I don't know. Thanks for Majuzi is watching in a taxi in South Africa. We appreciate you. Definitely go check out my video with Africa's fastest racing driver, Rui Andrade from Angola. If we've got any viewers here from Africa, I interviewed Africa's fastest racing driver, who's going to be trying to win Le Mans. So go check that out on my channel. Take this opportunity, by the way, to hit that subscribe button right now. Don't miss the opportunity. Hit subscribe. Hit the notification bell for everything motorsport. We cover everything motorsport here. Real world motorsport, me driving, sim racing, interviews, grid walks, everything. I go to all the events around the world. We share it on this channel with you for absolutely free. And at the moment, I'm taking a couple of weeks out from my normal job to really go hard at it for you, and I appreciate your support very, very, very much. Piastri on the one stop, potentially, although he's just been in the pits. You keep doing the curse. You keep doing the chat curse. Every time you say, oh, this guy might be on the one stop, he pits. Verstappen on the one stop. LeBron's from Africa, very nice, very nice. Welcome Alex as well, so if I've missed anyone in the chat. Piastri's in the pit. Charles Leclerc will see pit very soon, no doubt. And then we'll have to see if that Ferrari's any pace. But I feel like Carlos Sainz is just dropping back and back and back. He started P2. He's going to... Perez is going to overtake him one way or another, by the way, chat. Perez is going to overtake him either on track or off track, because Sainz needs to pit. So Carlos Sainz is in a bad place. Fernando Alonso on the soft tyre as well. He'll need to pit again. Lance Stroll, I think... By the way, is Lance Stroll done with the pits? I think, yes, he is, isn't he? Lance Stroll is done with the pits. So Lance Stroll is only 14 seconds behind Alonso, but Alonso needs to pit again. So Lance Stroll looking deceptively good in this race, actually. Because he's in sort of provisional P6. So Lance Stroll in provisional P6. But again, the pace of the Red Bull, frankly, scary. Expat wife and daughter fell asleep during slot 2 at Twitch Cut race. Now watching this. Good to have you. We've had a lot of people here from the Philippines. So good to see that. We have to reach worldwide. That's the advantage of YouTube, you know. Everyone's got the app. Just come along and have a good time in the chat. Got some amazing mods as well here, doing some amazing stuff behind the scenes. Big shout out to the mods. Neil saying Perez is finishing ahead of Sainz. Trevor said Lewis doing well. Yeah, I mean, driver of the day. Can we do an early driver of the day? Very early driver of the day. Let's be honest. But can we say is Lewis Hamilton up there for driver of the day? Alex saying end of season fight between Mercedes and Aston in the championship. I think Mercedes have now leapfrogged Aston Martin, I have to say, if you look at the leaderboards there. Lando Norris should have been up there. I mean, oh man, can you imagine this with Lando up there? The man who started P3, unfortunately, got the front wheel damage from driving into the back of Lewis Hamilton, but there's a lot of consumer effect in turn 2, lap 1, had to pit for a new nose cone and really destroyed his race. He's been on every possible tyre already. And I'm not sure he's going to be able to go to the end. Carlos Sainz is boxing. Carlos Sainz is in the pits and drops behind Fernando Alonso. But Alonso needs to pit again, for sure. So the question is really, what is the gap between Stroll and Sainz? It's very bunched up now. Because Max Verstappen has lapped Charles Leclerc. They didn't show this on the feed. It's a bit embarrassing. But Charles Leclerc has been lapped by Max Verstappen, because Leclerc's also been in the pits, I believe, as well. So Ferrari doing a double stack, not because the cars are close, because Charles Leclerc is so far behind. And that's it, the Ferraris are done, tyre-wise. They are going to go try and go to the end. Sachi saying Lando just got a bad juju. Yeah, he should have got that in Sochi. Should have listened to his team, frankly. Incredible drama. Incredible dark drama. Victoria's Secret. Welcome to Victoria's Secret in the chat. Good to have Victoria's Secret on board. Maybe a potential sponsor of the stream. What do we think about that? Sunny's from Brazil. Good to see you. Keep letting us know where you're coming from. Snowline says Max driver of the day always. Nigel saying Perez driver of the day. Neil Perez driver of the day. Yes, sorry. Okay, well, it's hard to knock Sergio Perez here, isn't it? Hard to knock Sergio Perez. How many laps to go? You can see at the top left there. There are 23 laps to go just in the little grey. Yeah, so we are seeing 2 stops materialise for a lot of teams. Now, the only kind of bad thing I can see happening to Verstappen here if it doesn't rain, if for some reason he gets some deg on his tyres, and by the way, he has stopped really pulling away from Hamilton materially. So if there's a Verstappen on the radio saying Max thoughts on the tyre, not amazing. Wow, the front is over. Okay. If Max boxes here, he will come out behind Lewis Hamilton track position. And then can you have a situation where Lewis Hamilton can make those mediums go to the end? Is Lewis Hamilton playing some 5D big brain strat here, where he's going to maintain the track position, but he's doing everything he can to also keep the performance in the tyre, and then we'll have to see Verstappen try and take Hamilton on track if Hamilton can go to the end. Wow. Unfortunately for Mercedes, George Russell is not also going to be ahead of Max Verstappen. If George Russell hadn't maybe balls up the quali and was, or Mercedes hadn't made that mistake on the home straight where the cars hit each other, then there would be 2 Mercedes in the way there for Verstappen. At the moment, Verstappen might be cornered into doing the one stop purely because of the pace of Lewis Hamilton here, just maintaining that gap. So, I don't know. I'm just putting it out there. I'm just putting that theory out there. Welcome, David from Key West, Florida. Continue to let us know where you're watching from. I've got all the chat up here. I see you all. I see you all. Priya saying Hamilton miracle, please. We've got a lot of Hamilton fans in the chat. ACPW saying Max will take Lewis on track with ease. Brian saying Max will still win even if Lewis... We'll see. Okay, chat. Does anyone think... Let me know, yes or no. If Verstappen pits now, can Hamilton win the race? Does anyone think that can happen? Welcome, Xander from Texas. I'm just saying track position sometimes can be king, but the DRS here is so strong. But will we see Lewis Hamilton actually defend, like maybe critics will say he should have done at Abu Dhabi 2021 last lap? You saying Hamilton's going to win. Bernd saying no. Dan, no. Bianca says no. Nigel, yes. Bowler, yes. Niels, no. Snow, I hope not. Ave saying yes. Got people with some double votes in here. Nice one on the LPH, everyone, by the way. Can we get to 300 likes? It's possible. Welcome, Greasy. Abijay saying, even as a Hamilton fan, that ain't going to happen. Wally says, I wish yes. Plantport, hope not. Welcome, Sammy. Bowler has said yes about 75 million times. Vaccinator saying no. Space Dog saying Norris is gone. Yeah. There's a car in the pits here. Is Fernando Alonso in the pits? So wasn't Alonso on the soft tyres there, if I saw that correctly? So he's made those softs go quite a long way. And is he going to go mediums or hards to the end? What does he think? I have to see what tyres Alonso and Aston Martin think is the best tyre to go to the end here when they're not going to be degradation limited. So they think the hard tyre is the fastest tyre. Interesting, because Aston Martin could have gone on the mediums or hards there. Or even the softs again, actually. Probably, right? 20 laps to go, but they've decided to go onto the hard tyre. And there is rain in the vicinity, but I think it's too far away. But there's big rain nearby. The helicopter's focusing over it. Mercedes are out! Mercedes are out, and they've got soft tyres out. They've got soft tyres. Okay. So it's a soft, medium soft for George Russell. People saying Hamilton may make it, Hamilton may win it. Will Sir Lewis Hamilton do something interesting here? He still effectively has the track position if Max Verstappen is going to pit again. Very, very, very interesting. Kate saying the rain is coming. It's very overcast near the back of the circuit, and there's still about 20 laps to go, everyone. Still 20 laps to go. Thanks, Funky. Yes, please. That's the most important thing is make sure you're subscribed if you like what you're seeing, because the stream might get taken down. I'll re-upload it, and then if you're subscribed, you'll get it. Verstappen's on the radio as well. Magson's the fastest man on circuit. Is Russell going fastest lap? No, I think there's more at play here than the fastest lap point. Interestingly, Russell has dropped behind Sergio Perez. This is the big one to watch on the standings, everyone. Let me just make sure we get this in. Just box one of our drivers there. The big thing to watch out here is George Russell is behind Sergio Perez. Have a look at that gap. It's 13 seconds at the moment. How fast can George Russell, if at all, catch Sergio Perez, who's on some very, very worn hard tyres, and they'll be very worn near the end of the race. We've got soft tyre versus hard tyre. That's what we love to see. Finally, some different tyres in play. And it's very overcast at the north of the circuit. Can we get someone else to do a satellite weather check, if possible? Can someone else do a satellite weather check and let us know? Are we going to get in the next 25 minutes or so any rain? Because that might be something that Lewis Hamilton is just going to wait for and get on the intermediate tyres. Who thinks Piastri will get points here? Oh my word, look how far down Alonso is. Difficult to say, I'm afraid. Difficult to say. What are they going to do? It is Neymar Jr., who... surely he should have been playing yesterday for PSG. What's he doing over here the day after? Is in the garage of Mercedes, by the way. Yusuf saying the rain is coming. Can we get an ETA on that rain? Can we get an ETA on that rain? Sammy saying yes, the rain.
Position gained for Alpha Tauri.
By the way, Russell is eating into Sergio Perez. Oh, look at the big subscriber explosion there. Venus, Cloudwalker, Gracie, Jartanto, Givertoni, Mumba, Sifo, Peter Joshua, and My Songs. Make sure you're in the next sub explosion. Hit that subscribe button right now. The season is over, mate. Why would Neymar still be there? I don't know. I'm doing Formula 1 here. So I haven't got a clue, frankly. Haven't got a Scooby-Doo. Nigel saying 10 minutes till the rain. That would be very dramatic. Let's see what happens between George Russell. It's 12.6 seconds on my screen is the gap. And he is the fastest man on track is George Russell. Oh, man. It's the old days here. Red Bull, Mercedes, Red Bull, Mercedes. Carlos Sainz. Remember, Perez managed to get a pit stop there on Carlos Sainz, didn't he? Well, they're based on the same strategy, weren't they? 20 minutes till rain. Peter, get a life. Are you searching to gossip or what? What's going on with Peter? Chat. What's going on with Peter? Let us know. I've no idea what's going on.
And box this lap.
I am on the live chat here. Vino saying, I think, oh my word, it's gone sub 12 seconds for George Russell. This is the one to watch. Is he going to force Perez into a stop here? Or if he does that, Perez will lose out to Carlos Sainz as well. Wow, so it's difficult here. He's putting Perez on some real... Mercedes have played a hand here that's putting Sergio Perez and Red Bull under real pressure. And by the way, the gap between Verstappen and Hamilton isn't really moving. 16 seconds is staying the same. Maybe Lewis Hamilton knows exactly what he's doing and he's just trying to maintain that gap. He's just trying to maintain that gap to prevent Verstappen from getting that free pit stop. Michael saying Russell is flying. Yes, indeed. 17.8. Russell, George Russell, the sweatiest man in Barcelona, is absolutely flying. Can we get some sweaty man emojis out for George Russell to signify just how fast he's going? Here he is. This is the face of George Russell as he drives at Catalonia. Alonso, I think, getting a move done on Yuki Tsunoda, by the way. So Alonso moving up. It hasn't really happened for Aston Martin here, has it? Hasn't really happened, but they're trying to play with the big boys. Red Bull, Mercedes might be back. The side pods are extra downforce helping them out. Perez is losing time. It's going to go under 10 seconds is the gap. With 16 laps to go, this is going to get close. This is going to get very, very, very close. And by the way, the race is almost on exactly the same lap as we are here. The chance of rain is going down. Chance of rain decreasing, but we need to see the satellite imagery. Because there's big clouds nearby. There's going to be a downpour on the track. It's just going to be, is it going to be doing the race or not? PC promoting LG TV. I've never had an LG TV, to be honest. Alonso is... Oh, Red Bull in the garage looking at some tyres. They're checking the temps. They're checking the temps. They're baking some tyres there in the Red Bull garage. Just seeing if they're nice and hot and juicy on the inside. That's how it works, right? That's what they're doing. That's what they're doing. Big clouds on board here with Charles Leclerc. Can he get in the points, frankly? Not even a certainty. Protein's got it out. Yeah, we'll be back for Canada, by the way. We're back with Canada on the 18th of June, I believe. Hamilton pitting. Box. Hamilton's in the pits. There we go. Right. Hamilton's in the pits. This is the interesting thing. Have they seen the pace on the soft tyres? And are they going to now try and put Max Verstappen under pressure to cover that off? Let's see. Are we going to see Max Verstappen box here to cover it off? I think we're going to see it. Perez is going to pit. Perez pits. Mercedes are really putting some Red Bull on some weird pressure here. Perez is boxed to go on a soft tyre and he's dropped behind Carlos Sainz. George Russell has forced Sergio Perez to pit there. Welcome to all of our new subscribers, by the way. Welcome to the family. Great to have you on board on the channel. You won't regret it. You're part of the best racing community on YouTube here. Absolutely guaranteed. This is like a game version of the race. Yes, we are all watching a game version of the race here. Verstappen on the radio saying, these hard tyres have no grip, just sliding everywhere. We are going to see Verstappen box. We're going to see Verstappen box very, very, very quickly indeed. As I think that's Alonso going off the track to overtake Esteban Ocon, his teammate here last year, going into turn 1. Didn't have some very complimentary words to say about Esteban Ocon, Fernando Alonso, about his old teammate. And we're also going to see here Charles Leclerc surely going around the outside of Oscar Piastri at turn 1. So this is what we would need to see here. Firstly, can George Russell catch up with Lewis Hamilton and get P2? Can Sergio Perez overtake Carlos Sainz? You'd say it's nailed on. Weather report, Saturn saying no longer likelihood of rain. No longer any likelihood of rain. So we will see. Might be a sprint. Oh my word. Alonso will not be happy there at Ocon. Ocon going very defensive. You know, I think this is what happens in racing though. Ocon will know that Alonso was on the radio in qualifying, say, oh, Ocon was impeding. So he might just throw a little bit more in that defense. You know, what comes around goes around F1 a little bit. Max, box. Max is boxing. There we go. So Max has been forced into the pit stop, maybe. And every time he boxes, there's a chance of an error. But we'll see what the gap is going to be when Verstappen comes out, everyone. Let's see what the gap is going to be. I'm still waiting on the standings. That's what Mercedes did. They twisted there, trying to force Verstappen into a pit stop, make something happen, and the gap is the same. 16 seconds, just around 16.2 there. And this is it now. Can Verstappen go around the last 13 or 14 laps and basically maintain or extend the lead? We will see. Do I think Sainz will be on the podium? Absolutely no chance, because Sergio Perez has already overtaken Carlos Sainz. He's made that look very easy. And look at that lap time from Perez, by the way. Perez, 2 seconds quicker than Lewis Hamilton. So 2 seconds quicker. At that rate, he would catch up with George Russell in about 5 laps. So there is rain in the vicinity. Is there going to be rain on track, or is George Russell just going to sweat everywhere? We will see. We will see. But I think the bigger question is, in fact, chat, let me know, 1,200 people watching this, is Sergio Perez going to get on the podium here? Is it going to be a Perez podium, a podium for Perez? Let me know in the chat. Podium for Perez, let me know. Is it going to happen? He'd need to catch up 9 seconds on George Russell. Let's see. Piastri not going to be in the points. No, very, very unlikely. But let's see about Sergio Perez. Let me know in the chat. Sammy saying yes. Evo, yes. Patiently, yes. Greasy saying no. Smaller says, please, Perez, need I be on the podium? Are you Mario in disguise? Kate saying yes. Niels, no. Rena saying sheesh. Martin saying no, Perez. Yeah, no. There was a 50% chance of a safety car. 75% chance of virtual safety car, and we haven't seen either. What would a safety car do right now? It would be great news for Sergio Perez. He'd be on faster tyres. What if someone like Logan Sargent were to just fall off the track gently? Are you here, Sab? Anyone seen Sab? Sab, are you in the chat? Sab's been reported as being missing. Protein saying yes, Bowler saying no. Bowler spam no about 83 times like usual. Grandpa saying no. Sammy, I swear this is the best chance. Yeah, this is the best place to be for this one. We have the best time here. It's just a shame it's going to end. It's a shame it's going to end in 13 laps, but it's not going to end because we've got a premiere straight after. We're going to premiere an exclusive interview with the most interesting man in motorsport, a man who is taking it to Ferrari in the World Endurance Championship. You don't want to miss it. It's going to be a live premiere on this channel immediately following this live stream of the F1 Spanish GP, the Watchalong. Imagine heavy rain at lap 60. We will see. We will see. But, oh, my Logitech G Pro wheel is struggling with the weight of the Samsung phone here. There we go. Back there. It is under 8 seconds from Sergio Perez to George Russell, and there are 12 laps to go. I'm going to call it. I think Perez is going to be on the podium. I think Perez has got the bit between his teeth, and again, we're going to see just how dominant the Red Bull is here. Very disappointing race so far for Ferrari. Remember, Carlos Sainz in P2, and he is really struggling. I don't think Carlos Sainz will dip below P5, but nowhere near the podium. Can you explain to me about a safety car? If a car crashes, if there's an incident on track where marshal safety or driver safety would be in question, they will put out a safety car to force the cars to drive at a slow speed, bunch up the cars on track, so marshals can clear normally the debris or the danger or recover a car. That is a safety car in Formula 1. Or what they might do is do a virtual safety car where they will tell all cars to run at a maximum speed, which will be very low, so run at a slow speed, again to sort of make the track more safe for the recovery of a vehicle or debris. Will I commentate next F1 GP? If you want to see it, in fact, let me know in the chat. Do you? Because I don't do this all the time. If you want to see me commentate on Canada, because I have to buy a pass to watch a GP. So let me know if you want to see me in the chat. Do Canada, and we'll think about it. But yes, 7.4 seconds gap from Perez to George Russell, and I reckon this is a big sort of show of dominance for Red Bull here. They will definitely want to have that podium, 2 Red Bulls on the podium. And Perez will really want to do it to silence the doubters. People saying Perez is washed. Well, he's won 2 Grand Prix this season. And who are they going to put in Daniel Ricciardo? Is it really an advantage? We don't know. We will see. Peter Sauber. Great to see Peter Sauber, by the way, in the Alpha Garage, obviously. Long time. People in chat may recognise Peter Sauber has been on the pit wall for many, many, many years. One of the legends, I think, of Formula 1. Would be great to interview him. People want to see it. Bowler wants to see it, but Bowler's only said it once. If Bowler doesn't say it 10 times, I don't even count it. Hans saying Perez takes up to 4 tenths each lap is not going to be enough. Please update tyre status. Well, it is what you... Well, the top 4 drivers were on softs, as we see in a Alfa Romeo go off the track as he tries to overtake a... That was Guan Yu Zhou going off the track trying to overtake Tsunoda into turn 1. That is a battle for P9, by the way, so there is points on the table. Didn't quite work. There's been some great racing from about like Tsunoda downwards. It's been really, really, really interesting. Very disappointing. Oh, gap to Russell now 6 seconds. There must have been an error. That must have been a big error for Russell somewhere. I haven't seen it, but it must have been a big error for George Russell. Because to get that gap down so staggeringly there, something big has happened. Something big has happened. I'm not sure Guan Yu Zhou needed to go to the off-track there, but he decided to do it. By the way, that link up there, if you want to be part of a motorsport Discord with 3,000 other people, hit that link, join the Discord, completely free, and we talk all things F1, get some exclusive news, gossip, rumours, talk about everything in the Discord 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 366 days a year on a leap year. Get in there, Gasly. Nihar's a Gasly fan. Perez fastest lap, sub 6 seconds is the gap with 9 laps to go. This is going to be damn close. It's going to be damn close here. And I have to say, this is really important for me for momentum. If Mercedes get a 2-3 here, they will have scored more points in this race than Red Bull. Was that? I can't remember. 25? Anyway, from a team perspective, Mercedes might have outperformed Red Bull here. They'll definitely have outperformed Aston. They'll miles have outperformed Ferrari. So really important here, I think, for Mercedes that they keep this 2-3. That's a great thing for them to show to their fans, to their shareholders, build the hype for Canada, a track that Lewis Hamilton really, really, really likes. People behind De Vries are not out of the race. There's been no retirements in this race, but they've been lapped, and that's why they are grey in the standings there. Callum saying, come on, Max. Stroll is staying relevant. Yep. I mean, for all of the Stroll haters, he is ahead of Alonso. So what do you say about that? Stroll haters, come at me, bro. Callum still spotting Max. Piastri could use a red flag now. Mate, I think... I'm sorry, mate, but I think the race is pretty much done for old Oscar here. I don't think he's getting in the points, but you never know. You never know. He's less than a second behind Charles Leclerc. Would be great for McLaren for Piastri to overtake Charles Leclerc here, actually. Yo, Messi or Ronaldo? Over here, it's Max or Alonso. That's the big question. People are really supporting Max now in the chat. But anything can happen in the last 8 races, and the gap between Perez and Russell, I think, has just gone sub 4 seconds. So remember, you might look at it and think that's a 4-second gap. It's not. It's a 3-second gap, because when you get within 1 second, you get the DRS. So Perez only needs to find 3 seconds, and then he's going to get that DRS boost. And the Red Bull is so quick down the straight. George Russell saying earlier on that they could take the whole wing off the back of the Mercedes, and it would still be slower than the Red Bull. That's how fast the Red Bull is in a straight line. Perez P3 is the call. I asked you earlier, do you think Perez is going to get on the podium? I think most people said no. But I have to say, it's a race now between the laps ticking down, the rain clouds in the distance. It's looking increasingly overcast. Can I get someone else just to pop out for a moment and do a satellite check? Black and white flag for Verstappen, by the way, track limits. He won't want to get a penalty there. Can we get just a final check here on the rain for the next 10 minutes? I'm just saying, it looks very, very, very overcast. Snowline saying, come on, Checo. George Russell is having to give it everything here. If I was Sergio Perez, I would use a few of your track limits. I would use a few of them. You got them in the bank. So get a bit more time here. Shure saying Perez's tyres are going off. We're hearing this on the radio. Shure saying Perez's tyres going off. That's the report. And you are correct in the sense that the gap has gone above 4 seconds. Well, it's gone above the 5-second threshold. Fafnir says no rain. Hans coming in with the maths here. It's still more points for Red Bull. Okay, still more points for Red Bull. Thanks for confirming there. Victoria's Secret again. We need to speak about that sponsorship for the next stream. Perez isn't going to overtake. We will see. He's got the fast lap of the race. And are the tyres going to go off for Russell as well? Because remember, Perez is on much newer tyres than George Russell. So if you think Perez's tyres are going off, well, spare a thought for George Russell's here. The old sweaty boy. No rain is coming in on the radio. In the chat radio. Welcome GT9442. By the way, if you're watching and you've not subscribed, hit that subscribe button so you don't miss the next streams. We've streamed FP1, FP2, FP3, qualifying and the race. We're going to do all over again for Canada. Completely free here. You don't want to miss it. I would appreciate it if you understand this message and you can write it in a different language. Write it in your language in the chat, because we've got 1,400 people watching all over the globe. And I'm having a look here at Sergio Perez. I think maybe he is struggling. Verstappen, by the way, is probably going to be trying to take that fastest lap off Sergio Perez. There might be a little bit of thing going on here for the fastest lap bonus point. So, did Perez cook his tyres a little bit? We will see. We will see. Lewis 8 or 7 championships. That's very inflammatory. Very inflammatory. As we see Lando Norris there, I think, having a terrible time of it. Terrible time. He's in P18. And Charles Leclerc as well, not able to get in the points in that Ferrari. Grandpa saying the sweaty boy is going to hold on. Thanks for the donation, Grandpa, by the way. Really appreciate it. The Australian dollars, absolute legend. No worries, Shush. Rain in the region. Rain in the Catalina region has been reported. We just don't know. The thing is, there's only 5 laps to go. What happened to Lando here goes around the last corner. He was in P18. He's in the slipstream of P17. Which I think is a Haas of Kevin Magnussen. Goes round the outside, looks to be pretty good. But then, oh man, if I was Lando, I'd be pretty pissed off there. But I've seen that Max Verstappen, let's not forget, Carlos Sainz was ahead going into turn 1 on lap 1 in this race. Carlos Sainz was in first place. But Verstappen did not give him any room on the exit at all. In fact, Verstappen damn nearly went over all the track limits. I'm not sure that's racing. I don't know. Red Bull on the radio to Perez saying all out now. All out now. Yuki Tsunoda is getting a penalty there, I think, for forcing Guan Yu Zhou off the track. So Tsunoda's got a penalty because Guan Yu Zhou went off the track. And by the way, I think Yuki Tsunoda gave more space than Max Verstappen did in turn 1. Anyone who's seen it, let me know what you think. Is that Max Verstappen knows exactly what he's doing there at turn 1. You want to try and go around the outside, either you're going to crash or you're going to go off. And Carlos Sainz decided to do neither. He decided to back out. Weird penalty. V-Nex saying Hamster would blame the car. I think Hamilton will be very happy with the PT. So I think your Hamilton hate has sort of blinded you there in the chat, frankly. Norris had an incident, by the way, on P1. Had to box spots for a new nose cone. He's had a horrendous race. Welcome to all of our new subscribers. Traffic, Minkantan, Sarah, Mark, and Shersh as well joining us. Why science is on hards? They're saying to Verstappen, can you bring it home with the white lines? They don't want to get a penalty for Verstappen there. Don't want to get a penalty. Hamilton fastest lap? Surely not. No, not going to happen. Not going to happen. Don't think you're going to see that. Was that a very slow lap from Verstappen last lap? 1 minute 18. And Sergio Perez, at this rate, is not going to get it done on George Russell, but the gap is 4.8 seconds. And Charles Leclerc, he's only a few seconds here off the points, but I don't think he's going to get it done. But let's have a look if Charles Leclerc can actually get up into the points. He's in P12 right now. He's got to get past Gasly in the Alpine and then Guan Yu Zhou. But, you know, maybe a point would be a Pyrrhic recovery of sorts. It's hammer time for Lewis Hamilton. But I'm afraid, ladies and gentlemen, if you're a Lewis Hamilton fan, he's almost a pit stop behind Max Verstappen. So Max Verstappen could literally box now, put on softs, and probably still win the race. 4.5 seconds is the gap between Perez and George Russell. I think George Russell is going to hold on here. Sachin saying Mercedes P2, P3. I think it's been a great race for Mercedes. Now's the time, everyone. I want to hear it from you, the true fans. Who is your driver of the day? Let us know in the chat. Driver of the day. I'm going to write it as well. I want to hear from you. I'm not going to say anything myself. Driver of the day. Driver of the day. Let us know. Is it Verstappen for actually dominating this race, taking his 5th win of the season, and the 7th win this season for Red Bull, winning every race? You know, Imola round cancelled, but winning every race that's happened. Max, Russell, Guan Yu Zhou, Lewis, Russell, Lando, Russell, Hamilton, Max, Russell, Perez, Max, Russell. A lot of love coming in from Russell here. Russell, Hamilton, Logan Sargent. Get out of here. Get out of here with that. Logan Sargent for not rage quitting. Yes. George Lewis. I think from that, so far, I think George Russell is winning the vote. A lot of votes for Max as well. Is it between Max and George Russell? You have to remember, by the way, George Russell did not get into Q3. So to get on the podium is going to be very, very, very sweet. I don't think Leclerc is going to be able to get past Pierre Gasly here. Very disappointing for Charles Leclerc. And by the way, the gap between Perez and George Russell is 3.2 seconds. It is very, very, very close. Very close. Oh, Charles Leclerc tries to send it on Ocon in the... Gasly in the infield. Gasly also with a fall from grace. It's quite interesting because Gasly got into Q3 and Leclerc started from last place. So, you know, it's really not a great race for Gasly, is it? That penalty as well. Hamilton, Matt's got the fastest car, nothing more. Yeah, but Perez has got the fastest car as well, but you know, Perez had a P4. Depends how you see it. The gap is close. We're going to be going on to the last lap, by the way. Last lap. Mad. 2.7 is the gap. A little bit too late. A little bit too late. Oh. Red Bull will probably look back at this and they'll realise what they could have done differently on the strat to get it done. Leclerc not able to get past Gasly, by the way. Driver of the day, Max. Lewis, driver of the day. I think it's split between Verstappen, Hamilton, Lewis. You know what? Let me do it properly. We're going to end this poll. And we'll do another one. Bear with me. I've seen the options there, so I'm going to put in these options. Whether you agree, your driver of the day, we're going to go... There we go, everyone. But pretty clear Verstappen is going to win this. I might have gone over the line already, frankly, on the live timing. And I just want to say, right, that I don't think we're appreciating how dominant this Red Bull car is. This Red Bull car is arguably more dominant than the Mercedes of the last few years when they're actually dominating. Red Bull have won every single race this season. Max Verstappen could basically start from last and win every single race. So we are witnessing a combination of car and driver that is absolutely unreal. And I think Sergio Perez has sort of showed it here. If I remember, he started in P12. And really, he could have got on the podium if things had gone a little bit differently. Is it the car or the driver? I don't know. By the way, Hamilton is winning the vote. Hamilton is winning the vote up there. So 40% for Hamilton. And George Russell is actually almost ahead of Max Verstappen. I told you George Russell was close. Are there going to be any ramifications after? We will see. We will see. Mercedes look very, very, very happy in the garage. Thanks, Spiro. Let me just get we'll get some stuff in the background again. Oh, I can't. Okay, I'll have to. We'll just put some vibes on in the background. Just bear with me a second, because we don't need to have the F1 manager on. Now we can just go straight vibes. I know a lot of you like the vibes that we do. Here we go. It's the vibe. It's the vibe time now. It's the post race. We made it in the post race. No, right. Neil's saying no yellow flag in this race. I wonder what the odds would have been for no yellow flag in the race. Going to run down your order now as we classify. Shakira's in the house. Shakira's back in Barcelona. Not sure where Gerard Piqué is right now. Verstappen P1, Hamilton P2, George Russell P3, Sergio Perez P4, Carlos Sainz P5, frustrating race, Lance Stroll P6, Fernando Alonso P7, Esteban Ocon P8, Guan Yu Zhou P9, Pierre Gasly P10, Charles Leclerc P11, Yuki Tsunoda P12. So Charles Leclerc and Gasly must have overtaken Tsunoda on the very last lap. Tsunoda must have had a disaster there. Fastest lap, by the way, did go to Verstappen in the end, so he's got the maximum 26 points. Oscar Piastri P13, Nick De Vries P14. He is under big pressure, surely. Nico Hulkenberg P15. Disaster for Hulkenberg. I think he went from about P7 to P15. Alex Albon in P16. Lando Norris, another disaster down to P17. Kevin Magnussen, not a good race for Haas, P18. Valtteri Bottas, disaster in P19. And Logan Sargent, nearly as always, bring up the rear in P20. Tsunoda had a 5-second penalty. Yes, thank you for correcting me. Tsunoda with the 5-second penalty there. Very important. I think a little bit harsh, that penalty, because I think Guan Yu Zhou sort of dived off the track a little bit. Is Max running out of confidence? We will see. I'm going to let you know how the drivers look, by the way, if they look happy. I think driver of the day has gone to Lewis Hamilton in the official Formula 1 vote, and also our unofficial Formula 1 vote as well. Very assured performance from Lewis Hamilton. He looked like he had pace at Monaco, but unfortunately that crash in FP3, I think, scuppered the whole weekend from him. Eden saying W Max. Yeah, good day for Max Verstappen. Just frankly, just another day in the office for Max Verstappen, isn't it? Another day in the office. Mega Max from Snowline. We will see Max getting out the car. Is it just going to be routine? Putting the steering wheel. George Russell. I have to say, I'm a little bit surprised George Russell isn't doing better in the vote, because taking that Mercedes, dragging it from... Actually, where did George Russell start this race? Anyone know where George Russell started this race? He started really low down. I think V-neck, I think that message reflects more on you than anyone else. This isn't Twitter. This is like there's a lot of really intelligent people in the stream. Not me, obviously, but the most intelligent F1 viewers are in this stream, so they see it. P12. So Russell going P12 to P3. You know, oh man, that is a hell of a drive. He had to do some overtakes there. Lewis Hamilton's happy, waving at the fans. Hasn't always had the support of the crowd at Catalina, to be honest. Go now to the weighbridge. What happened to Norris at the start? He ran into the back of Lewis Hamilton and had to change the front wings. Remember, Lando Norris starting this race ahead of Lewis Hamilton. Ahead of Lewis Hamilton. Oh yeah, VNet wasn't joking. Yeah, sure. VNet's wound up in the chat. He wound up. Saturn saying Russell was the best driver by far. I think Russell's going to have a bit of swagger around him there. A very, very, very sweet podium for George Russell. The drivers get their watches after the race. Obviously, you can't get it before you get weighed. Nico Rosberg is going to do the interviews. How is he going to slate Lewis Hamilton this time? I don't know. Akako is saying Hamilton is the best. Rod saying GG Russell. Yeah, Russell looking super happy. Celebrating with the mechanics, looking super, super, super happy. Verstappen and Perez. Are we going to start to see, is it possible, a Red Bull Mercedes sort of battle in the second part of the season? I don't know. Is it a case that is the Red Bull much quicker or is Verstappen that much quicker? It's hard to tell. Sammy saying L for McLaren. No need to speak about your way that way, VNet. It's okay. Eric saying Max is made in Belgium. I don't know the specifics of where Max was actually made, but he drives under the Dutch flag, obviously. Satch and Nico are going to talk about how better Russell is. Yeah, I think that's going to be an interesting one to watch, isn't it? Russell had fastest lap twice. Disaster class from McLaren. Yeah, Piastri set a really quick time in Q2 yesterday. Lando a really quick time in F3. And it sort of fell apart. Although I would say there's not a lot of pressure on those drivers or team at the moment because their expectations are so low. All they do is sign sponsors. They need to start winning, maybe. Crown Tiger saying Max, aka 2021 fake champion, got weak teammate. He never have a strong teammate. Fake champion. Why has this got a 1 on it then? Is there a 1 on this? I thought there's a 1 on this. There's a 1 on the back. Okay, my bad. No worries, Victoria's Secret. Messages about the sponsorship. We'll get that going. What happened to Norris? We need to pin a comment here. You know, I'm just going to pin a damn comment. Jesus. Norris crashed lap 1. Ah, damn it. Pin that. If anyone asks again, we just refer them to the pin comment. There we go. Sachin saying Verstappen and Red Bull are multipliers. Perez and Red Bull are addition. I like that. I like that. Game recognizes game. Lewis Hamilton looking very, very, very... He can't stop smiling. He's super happy in the post-race. Gets to rub it into Nico Rosberg. What are you doing these days, Nico? Because I'm P2 at Barcelona. No worries, Devious Boy. But we got it there now. We've had lots of people ask. Crown Tiger, before someone should call Max best driver, he should get one strong teammate. He always got weak teammates. Is that Max's fault? Thanks, Blacker. I hope you enjoyed it. Remember, we have an exclusive coming up for you, by the way, on this channel. Very shortly, we have an exclusive coming up. I thought I'd missed it. Subscribe members only to react. Big mistake. I unsubscribe until you change. I cannot see who is subscribed to me and who isn't. So Richard, you've just come across like a big plum there. Big plum Richard. Unfortunately, that is your insecurity projecting onto the stream. Sorry for calling you out, bro. Thanks, Greasy Flight. Cheating, I could beat Perez from last on pad. I don't think so. George Russell now giving the interview. George Russell's got the classic Russell face. He's like, yeah, it was a tough race. I'd really push. But he's got that smug face. Smug, sweaty Russell. That's our man. Richard has big plums, yes. Evo notes in this race, Norris... Oh, there we go. There we go. You know what? I'm just going to pin that one. I'm just going to pin that one. There we go. Science consistently disappointing. Ansh Sharma says Science stuck on 5th. Yes. Can you blame Science though? He didn't really, I mean, he did a better job than Leclerc. I think Ferrari just did not have the pace here. Ferrari just did not have the pace, frankly. Very disappointing from Ferrari. Fast Ginger, welcome Fast Ginger. Rushing these into with no shirt on. Yes, 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 yes. Colin says if the W14 gets up close to the ports of Red Bull F1 Mad Competitive, yes, we could see what can Mercedes do. Thanks, Sachin. Christopher Rain saying if it were allowed, Max would drive better than any other team's drivers using their cars. How would Max do in an AlphaTauri? You know what? This is what I think. I'm going to put this out there. Okay, I'm going to put it out there. I think if Red Bull want to run 2 teams in Formula 1, Red Bull and AlphaTauri, they need to swap their drivers. For one race of the year, they need to swap their drivers. Who wants to put that in as an F1 law? Let me know if you want to see that. So if they want to get the benefits of running 2 teams, they need to swap the drivers around for one race season. There's track invasion now. Everyone's going to rush towards the podium. No slander from Nico. Nico managed to control it. Devious, but Red Bull are way too scared to have a teammate. Maybe. Ferrari is Ferrari. Yeah, Ferrari did a come Ferrari strat on Leclerc here. Absolutely mad what they did for Charles Leclerc. I mean, Lewis Hamilton looks so happy. I haven't seen Lewis Hamilton look this happy for a long time. I think they know something has gone well in the car. Toto said before the race, they now have a platform to build on. They now have a platform. So it's looking pretty good. It's looking pretty damn good for Mercedes, I have to say. Pure chaos. Rodspot likes it. Good idea, that, the chaos. Or Alpha Ball combine it. I like the chaos strat. Welcome to the Max Podcast, aka the Cooldown Room, brought to you by Paramount Plus, no doubt. By the way, Lewis Hamilton was very, very, very lucky here. Lewis Hamilton super lucky because Lando Norris drove into the back of him and they needed to change the wang. They actually needed to change the front wing on Lando's car. So imagine how badly it could have gone. Pretty crazy, right? By the way, welcome everyone to the post-race. Good to have you on board for some post-race shenanigans. We love to see it. We love to see it. Ferrari's got another strategy. Yeah, Ferrari need to work out what they're doing on the strategy for sure. I just don't understand Ferrari sometimes. What they're doing with Leclerc there. I mean, Red Bull just nailed it with Perez. Absolutely nailed the strat. Eden said everyone's hating on Max because he's just too damn good. Just too good. Imagine that rule. Yeah, imagine Latifi has to be in the Mercedes for a race. It's the podium celebration now. I think everyone's happy. Max is happy. Another win for Red Bull. Mercedes are happy. Who's going up for the constructor? I can't see. Christian Horner's happy. Newey's happy. Helmut Marko is happy as well. Snowline saying Mercedes is back. Is that? Do we believe that? Do we think? Can we say Mercedes are back? I mean, he finished about 20 seconds behind Max Verstappen, but it's a 60-lap race. So over the course of the race, it's only 3/10 a lap. So if they can get more time, you know. It's too early to tell. People are saying it's too damn early to tell. Okay. Christopher saying they got smoked. I'm not sure they got smoked per se, but maybe they, actually no. Maybe they did get smoked. Maybe they did get smoked. I don't know. Bear with me. Maybe they did get a little bit smoked. You let me know in the chat. Mercedes is back as in way back. Yeah, Mercedes are back like over there. We need more results. We will see at Canada. Canada has been a good track for Mercedes. Lewis Hamilton really likes the track. So, you know, okay, this is the one. I asked you before the race, do we think Red Bull will actually lose a race this season? And I think a lot of people are saying it could happen. I think it's now more likely it will happen. And it's more likely it will happen to Mercedes than anyone else. Because Mercedes smoked Aston Martin here. Aston Martin were just, you know, not looking good at the top end. And they destroyed Ferrari as well. Like, Ferrari just got abused here. But it's a tough track on the tyres, Catalunya. Very tough track. Crown Tiger saying Christian Horner F1 imposter will never take any strong team for Max. Wow. Harsh words. Harsh words there. Crazy. Race up there. Yeah, Checo's still trying to catch Russell. Russell's on the podium now. But yeah, eyes are going to turn to Canada. I am going to try, chat. I'm going to try and see if I can get... Bear with me. I'm going to try and get the standings up for you. I'm going to try and get the standings on screen so I can confirm the rundown. Bear with me a second. Here we go. Latest. Give me all the DAS cookies. Drivers, have we got the latest standings? Yes, we do. Yes, we do. Right, I'm going to share these with you. Bear with me. Here we go, everyone. These are your driver standings. I'm going to get rid of the map. We don't need that. Sorry, Richard. Sorry, Richard. I know that you're dub-dived, but I can't see that you're dub-dived or not dub-dived. I just treat everyone equally. Sorry about treating everyone equally, Richard. These are the standings. Sergio Perez, all the hate he's getting, is still in P2. Still in P2. And Alonso now looking over the back of him there. Look at this. Hamilton and Russell coming at him. There's a clear... clear sort of thing forming here, right? Is basically Red Bull, Mercedes, and then this is the battle to be the third best team, isn't it? This is the best battle. Interesting. Interesting. Let me move that up a little bit just so you can see that. Bear with me. There are your standings. Good to see. By the way, anyone else in the race that you were impressed with? Was there anyone else that you were like, okay, though that was someone that did quite a nice job? I'm having a look down. Should we be putting more praise on Guan Yu Zhou? Guan Yu Zhou maybe should be getting a little bit more praise. By the way, June 16, we will be. Let's burp there. We'll be doing the Canada GP live again from Montreal. Now, that's a race that's featured quite a bit of weather. I wonder whether Guan Yu Zhou should be getting a little bit more credit when you compare him to Bottas. Evo saying Guan Yu Zhou is hella overlooked. Mark, dub driving is mandatory. Yeah, make sure you get your dub drives in. Most underrated performance of today, maybe Guan Yu Zhou. But I'm just looking there. I'm looking at drivers that I feel like they've underperformed. But when you... The reality is not everyone could have underperformed, but I feel like Ocon's underperformed there. I feel like Alonso's underperformed. I feel like Carlos Sainz has underperformed. So I feel like there's a lot of drivers that we would hoped would have done better. Driver of the day is in the chat. You can see that it's Lewis Hamilton at the moment. By the way, we are very soon going to go to our exclusive moment on the stream. So bear with us. He's Zhou Guan Yu. Do I keep saying Guan Yu Zhou? Zhou Guan Yu. It's a formal thing. When you say it the other way, it's a little bit more formal. It's just like I like being formal, my drivers. Welcome Laura, welcome Pakiki. Stroll beating Alonso. Yeah, by the way, put some damn respect on Stroll's name. Canadians. I know we've got Canadians watching right now. Come on, this is one of your own. Would you rather Lance Stroll or would you rather Nicholas Latifi as being your Canadian representative in Formula 1? Because Lance Stroll is up there in P6, you know? People coming in with the underperformers. Tsunoda maybe underperform. Evo saying Alonso, Sainz, Ocon underperformed. Sachinan saying Ocon, Gasly, Lando, Sainz, Charles, Alonso all underperformed. Yeah. You go even further down. I mean, I think Hulkenberg underperformed, but then again, they are in a Haas. How about recreating a lobby? Yeah, we could do. We could do. Welcome, Ali. Lena says, you're the best F1 live I've seen so far. What a high praise. What a high praise. And we're about to go straight into the exclusive as well. Just a couple of minutes before that goes live. And saying maybe Russell driver of the day. it's difficult to give Verstappen driver of the day when we know he's in the fastest car. But then, if it is the fastest car, you got to give props to Hamilton. You got to give massive props to Russell here for beating Perez in this race. You got to give him massive props, right? Massive credit. Go Tiffy. Now, what is Go Tiffy up to these days? Anyone know? Is he actually racing? Thanks, Markiplier. Welcome back, Ivan. Yeah, Latifi, yeah, he did get the assist in 2021, didn't he? Max Verstappen actually he sawed the trophy in half, and he gave half of it to Nicholas Latifi for binning it. Imagine the scandal when it comes out that Red Bull paid $20 million to Williams for them to get Nicholas Latifi to bin it, because they knew they would win. Imagine when that comes out. Scandal. Hamilton driver of the day. Anyone else overperformed? We're talking a lot about underperformers. It feels a bit negative. Anyone else overperformed? Russell, Hamilton, Russell, Perez from their starting position. Perez, Lance Stroll. But then it's like the midfield's such a mush, you know? Who do you know who overperformed here? Who overperformed? Who underperformed? It's so that when you look at the midfield understandings there, it's absolutely insane, isn't it? It's so competitive in there. So damn competitive in the midfield. By the way, George Russell's weekend, remember, they struggled with the car. He went off in qualifying, starting near the back. And by the way, George Russell, he did something that Carlos Sainz did not do, okay? So George Russell, on the first corner, he decided to go to the escape road, and he was investigated. He did matters in his own hands. He got the positions, I think, but he went to the escape road. Carlos Sainz was squeezed to the outside by Max Verstappen, lap 1, turn 1, and he decided to not go to the escape road. Evo saying no one's had the perform this race. VNEC saying Hamilton is a elite driver. I agree, VNEC. I think Hamilton is an elite driver. So big support there for Hamilton from VNEC. Latifi's got free Red Bull for life. That'd be a great marketing stunt, wouldn't it? They're interviewing Toto Wolff now. Nico Rosberg's there. Obviously, he had a tough call to make to Toto Wolff, saying, yeah, I'm done in 2016. I'm done here. I'm out. And that was the cue to get Valtteri Bottas in, who I think Toto Wolff managed or manages. So that's all. It's all a little bit... Formula One's all a little bit like, you know... It's all a little bit like that. We're trying to see if there's going to be any post-race penalties. I don't think there will be. I think it will just be Tsunoda who has to take that one on the line, right? And saying Zhu may be overperformed. Whoa. And Sharma. I'm taking another look here at Russell going off. I think he was quite street smart there to go off lap 1 and I think he got a few positions. That's my hunch, anyway. That is my hunch. No, I'm sorry. I can't have Zhu Guanyu as being underperformed here. Do you think... Bottas definitely... Something must have happened with Bottas, by the way. There's been a big issue with Valtteri Bottas in this race to finish in P19. So he must have had some sort of thing that I didn't see, actually. And Maxim with a very weird last lap as well. By the way, I think Tsunoda might... Oh, you got the penalty. That's why it's out the points. I keep forgetting. But yeah, Oscar Piastri... Do we think Oscar Piastri underperformed, overperformed, or is it just a race for McLaren there? I think McLaren definitely left points on the table. I think for McLaren to come out of this race with no points is a very big disappointment, to be honest. No matter how they paint it. Mark is saying Guan Yu Zhou is just okay, but nothing special. Okay. I think that's a little bit hard on Guan Yu Zhou. I think that it was pretty brutal in the midfield in that race. They were scrapping left, right, and centre, and so to actually come out and get a point, I think he deserves some credit. But that's just me looking at it like that. That's just my opinion. But as we go to Canada, we'll see if there's going to be any more upgrades brought or any more tweaked, because remember, Aston Martin brought quite a lot of upgrades here. Hasn't quite worked out for them. They were swapping front wings in pre-practice 3, I believe. Yeah, that penalty, if it's going to be a penalty you award after the race, should they take a little bit more time? I don't know. Oh, sorry, Richard. Sorry for asking you to... I will never, ever, ever ask you to subscribe to the channel. But by the way, if you are enjoying the stream, please do make sure to hit that subscribe button. You won't regret it. Really helps me out, really helps out the channel. And we're going to be back again for Canada. And by the way, in 3 minutes, we're going to go into our premiere. So if you don't know what's happening, in 3 minutes, it's all going to kick off. McLaren needs their B-spec car. I think McLaren, they've obviously got the pace. If you're McLaren, to put it P3, you've got the pace, you know? So, you know, I think... McLaren just... Look, Lando Norris had that issue. Lap 1, turn 1. Just concertinas. Very unlucky to lose his end plate. Had to box, and they couldn't make the strategy work. So we didn't really get a true glimpse. But what I want to say is, when I was saying how Guan Yu Zhou, I think, has done really well, because to get a point in that midfield was really tough, and Oscar Piastri couldn't do it. So, you know, Guan Yu Zhou, the man who went upside down at Silverstone last season, I think did really, really well there. Welcome, Perez, to the chat. Perez has just been checking out the stream. He's got the car, checking out the stream, and has joined the chat. We've been covering Perez for the last... This is the 5th stream this weekend we've done on F1. Wow, we are getting very, very, very close. I will let you know how this is all going to work in a second. I will let you know how it's going to work in a second. So, this is what we are going to... Wow, there's some people know what's going on already. Some people know what's going on. Sainz podium. Carlos Sainz was so happy after qualifying and before the race, but I don't think the Ferrari really had it. A little bit disappointing for Ferrari because they brought the big upgrades. They've changed the whole sidepod design. Everyone was very, very, very excited, but unfortunately, it hasn't quite worked out for them. Hasn't quite worked out. Wow, we're getting super, super, super close, super close. You can see the tyres on, by the way. So Magnussen and Hülkenberg doing a 3-stopper. Right, Hülkenberg doing a 3-stopper and actually finishing ahead of Albon. Okay. Norris obviously had to do the 3-stopper, but I think Hülkenberg had an issue at the beginning as well. He pitted very early. That's why Hülkenberg dropped down. Same with Norris. So maybe the Haas place wasn't truly representative. That might be why. That might be why. Thanks, Lacko. Appreciate it. Appreciate all the support from the mods, everyone watching. There is now 1 minute to go till we go into our exclusive. I've got it all covered for you. Don't worry. I've got this all covered for you. I know how this is going to work. So, if you're a mod, can you help us out with this? Got about 30 seconds to go. Okay. We're super close now. We're just letting it cool down. Great weekend of racing at the Spanish GP at Catalunya. You can see on the left there, this is what I was doing this time last year, walking the track. Maybe next year, with your support, maybe next year, we can stream live from the track. How cool would that be? If we can imagine it, if we get the support, we can make it happen. Right. We are going to go over now to a very exclusive premiere. Mods, if you don't mind, this is a link you need to go to. Either click that link directly, or I'm going to take you automatically there. So mods, please direct people there. This is how we're going to do it. We're going to go there immediately. So do not click anything unless other than that link. Either click that link or click nothing at all. This has been great. We're going to go over. Bear with me.